What is up, Comic Fam? Happy Sunday. Welcome to the Legion of Comics. This is At Week's End, the spoiler-filled look back at this week in comics and more. And there's so much to talk about tonight, from trailers, new comic books, news, a bunch of trailers. And we'll also be doing the drawing for the November Legion Loot winner. So don't go anywhere. Check this out. So let's kick it off and go ahead and bring in the panel. We got my brother from another mother. Sometimes he's on the run. This time he's coming live from his safe house and who knows where. It's you know who, Ryan.
Hi. I would tell you guys where I'm at, but I cannot.
We'd have to kill you.
Yep.
And hailing from the great white north, none other than the #1 fan of some guy named Bill, my heterosexual life partner, Chris. What is happening?
What's going on?
Congratulations to Chris for bringing home not one, but two of the CBC awards at last night's CBC Awards. So he took one for best unboxing for a channel under 1K, as well as he took home a dual prize with Rob's Fat Sacks of Comics for the show Only Slabs, formerly known as Slab Hub. So they should have given him 4 trophies. One for Slab Hub and one for Only Slabs.
That's 3. That's 3.
No, one for Slab Hub for you, one for Only Slabs for you, and for Rob also.
Okay, all right.
For that one program, 4 trophies total.
Yeah, it's just to be recognized as the co-host. That was very kind, and to have like a trophy with my handle on it, that was very.
Bro,
kind.
after Tyler's episode, you should have been given like a 3-foot tall trophy for
From Rob.
Yeah, from Rob. Yeah, I was going to say you carried not just the show but Rob on your back for that one.
No small feat.
No.
We'll still talk about that show.
Hailing from the next sector over, we've got our good friend, Mr. Paul Cook, all the way from sector 2815. How are you tonight, Paul?
I am doing well. Little known fact, I also won an award in sector 2815. I won Most Likely to Fall Asleep.
Very good. Very good. Were you awake to claim your prize?
I was not.
No.
They had to hand it off.
Exactly.
Real quick, let's give a big thank you and shout out to the sponsors real quick, because it's really relevant tonight. So Big Time Collectibles sponsors the channel and the monthly Legion Loot giveaway box, which we'll be drawing for the winner tonight. They put out awesome exclusives. You can do FOC orders through them. You can get mystery boxes from them, which their mystery boxes are like highly decorated. And one of the coolest thing about them is you never know when their books will drop. Just ask for MEQ Studios, which adds an extra layer of mystery to them, which everyone likes a good mystery. And then on top of that, if you need anything cleaned or pressed, hit up our good friend Justin over on Instagram for as little as $10 a book. He can take care of you. He can also submit to CGC or CBCS for you if you don't have your own account with those places. Hit him with that promo code We Are Legion, or let him know that you found him through the channel, and you'll get a buy 2 get 1 free special offer. That's awesome. So yeah, tonight we are going to be drawing for the Legion Loot winner. We'll be doing that here after a while. But in the meantime, let's say hey to some folks, because that's what you're supposed to do. I don't have a romper room thing to play, but it's the same thing. TM Nerdy is up in the chat. Coco Love Chevy, Las Cruces, how are you? Raider Nation. I see a lot of channel members in here. That's awesome, because we're going to be seeing who wins the channel member box tonight. Brian, hello, hello. And we also got a new channel member, Loader's Empire. What is happening, my man?
Welcome.
Yeah.
So typically, and I guess this is a good time to point this out. So my Instagram is down right now. So I'm operating from Pop's Attic, which is my dad's Instagram page, where you won't see me posting on there because it's just for sales. But for messaging me or getting a hold of me, you can do that on that Instagram. If you're not following it, the link is in the description of all of my videos. So hit that up, follow me. And if you're a channel member, I do like to send out welcome packets. I got some thank you gifts to send your way. So if you're on IG, follow Pop's Attic and DM me there so I can get your shipping information and get that stuff to you as well. Jason, what is going on? Mort calling Orson. Come in, Orson.
I get that reference.
So do I.
Brother, what's going on? What's going on? Trev, the shipping guru, is up in the building. Pop's Attic is here. Let's go, Legionnaires. What is going on, Chris? It took me years, but I finally got that fake Legion of Comments IG taken down. Thank you so much, Tyler. Always taking care of me. I sent your wife some mail today too. It's for her, not you. A lot of people saying, "Hey, all that good stuff." Blah 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 blah. Jokes and jokes. Dale of Suspense is in the building. I had a fun time hanging out with him this morning on Nick's Kicks and Comics garage sale. That was a really good time. Giving away books like for free down there. Norm, what is going on, my friend? How are you tonight? Chat jumped. El Green Machine, how are you? Dave, what is happening? Paul Rogers is up in the building. Boom, 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 boom. Beckerman, hiya. What's up, bud? How are you? Steven C, good to see you. Nick's Kicks and Comics, what is up? All right, so if DJ, how are you doing, good sir? So if I missed you, I apologize, but I'm not sorry. There's a lot of stuff bouncing around in there. So let's kick it off. Let's get into it. So kick right off the bat, I do want to talk these trailers. There was 3 massive trailers that dropped this week. And in order, it was Transformers Rise of the Beast, Indiana Jones, and the Dial of something. Dial of Destiny. And then Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So which one would you guys like to start with, and who would like to kick off? Go ahead. Oh, dude, good call, Norrin. Not even cocaine. It sounds crazy. Cocaine Bear, calling it now. It's going to be the best movie of 2023. We'll add that to the conversation too.
I don't know. Maybe that Winnie the Pooh movie may send shockwaves through too.
Dude, did it have a trailer?
And the Grinch movie.
I've seen the still images of the horror. What you're talking about is how they're turning Winnie the Pooh into a horror movie and the Grinch.
Yes,
both the Grinch trailers is just called both trailers are out. Right? The Grinch is called You're a Mean One.
Yes.
Take off. I'm gonna have to mute a little bit because the kid's doing this.
You're a mean one. Did you guys get to check out that trailer?
Mm-mm.
I did not see the trailer. I saw the story about it when it dropped, but I did not.
Yeah, I've heard about both of these projects. I didn't see any trailers though.
Yeah, it's just a wild take on the original Sue story. They kind of they kind of removed the whole Who aspect of it, so people don't have like stuff on their heads or anything. They kind of look like just normal people. And then the Grinch comes in and he's pillaging people's homes and stuff. And it looks more like a thriller to me than a horror. And it was the Winnie the Pooh movie that's just like a slasher movie. That's true, like more slasher horror. A little bit more of the macabre flavor to it. And let's be honest. They'll be on HBO or whatever, and 7 days after theatrical release.
The Grinch one.
Oh yeah, I'm
not really drawn to that kind of stuff, but I like to watch it. Like when I get around to it, I don't go out of my way or anything. If there's nothing else to do, there's so much stuff on my want to do list that kind of comes down. The Winnie the Pooh thing, I think, looking at the still images were probably more interesting than the movie will end up being for me. I'm just not too into the.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I think there's like a shock factor to it, but there's nothing about that really comes off as an interesting idea beyond the shock factor of it all.
Ryan, do you want to know what an interesting idea is?
Yes.
Cocaine Bear.
Not at all.
No, you say that. Have you seen the trailer?
It's an original.
Yeah, it looked like stupid trash.
So what Ryan is saying is the movie of the year for 2023 is going to be Cocaine Bear, starring the late great Ray Liotta. I think Kerry Russell was in there, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. So enough said. Based on true events.
Powerhouse actors.
Are you talking about the bear?
Yes.
Because he's going to be high on cocaine the entire time.
Right.
Yeah. So apparently, drug smugglers drop some cargo out of a plane. Bear gets into it. Enough said. Movie of the year.
It's based on a true story.
Yeah. So they're obviously going to take some of the best liberties with it. It's a true story.
See?
True story, yeah.
So next year they'll be doing the sequel Heroin Elephant. But it's going to be a lot slower pace.
PCP Slug is the third one.
Yeah.
PCP Hippo.
Yes. Very dope.
Just when you thought it was safe to go back into the Serengeti.
Other genres should start stealing characters from horror. like a Jason Voorhees rom-com.
Just watch Robot Chicken. You know, that's they got that all wrapped up right there. Other shows.
I'm going to watch Cocaine Bear at Narcotics Anonymous. It's on USA. I heard the bear didn't do his own stunts.
It was just powdered sugar. It wasn't really cocaine.
Ecstasy camel should be lit. So getting into the trailers, like the big ones, like dude, Transformers Rise of the Beast came out. So no secret, I'm unapologetically a Michael Bay Transformers fan. I enjoyed the Bumblebee movie. I don't really care about the original cartoon that was kind of started and rolling before I got like older enough. That's like just right before my time kind of thing. But I did grow up with Beast Wars. Like that's what was coming on TV when computer animation was new. Optimus Primal and those kind of ones were the toys that I had growing up, a few of. So seeing that in the trailer actually blew my mind. How like good the transfer from cartoon and toy to film looked. It looked really cool, and I like to see the design of Optimus and stuff. Looks like they're carrying the timeline from the Bumblebee movie, is what I'm assuming. I don't know if this is its own thing, but they have like the Gen 1 look to Optimus.
Yeah. I kind of think they branched off away now from Bumblebee, and they're staying on that branch.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. I hope so. I really enjoyed that Bumblebee movie a lot.
Yeah. Mm.
I appreciated that, you know, it looks like they've reduced the designs into something recognizable. But it seems like a huge missed opportunity to not just like be like Beast Wars takes place in a time where there are no humans, so we can make a good movie out of all this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like having humans in there, man.
Oh, I hate it. It's so stupid.
They just did a straight up Cybertron movie. I feel like it would be like one of the Netflix cartoons that we already have.
Yeah.
Because those aren't bad. Finn watches those. Like, there's a lot of different Transformers series on like that you can watch right now on Netflix for all different ages, like from Rescue Bots to Cybertron something. There's just a lot of cool Transformer content.
Right, and the War for Cybertron. I believe there's 2 or 3 seasons. I actually really enjoyed the first one. I haven't gotten into the second
It's
one.
no secret, Tyler.
Myself and probably my co-host right here. We grew up with Gen 1, and that was must-watch TV for me. Ryan
Paul,
hates
what are your thoughts from the Transformers movie?
What I think the Transformers movie? Sorry.
I thought he was frozen.
I was looking at the chat, the $5 chat that got.
No, good call. Got a
He almost
$5
looked like he was reading.
Yeah. I thought he was living up to that most likely to fall asleep award.
Hey, I don't care.
His eyes open.
I'm not a real huge Transformers guy, to be honest with you. It was a little bit after me when I was young. But the movies, I'm no matter what Michael Bay does, it's going to be big, it's going to be bombastic, it's going to, and I do like that in movies. If you go in knowing that that's, it's a popcorn movie, that's what you look for. That's what he gives you.
Exactly. I'm in for that. I love when people say it's all explosion and no substance. I'm like, exactly. Let's go get another ticket. Let's do it again.
People keep going. Like,
because
for me, I grew up but like I was maybe grade 3, grade 4 when Gen 1 first dropped, and that was must-watch TV for me. So I've been critical of the Transformers movies only because they meant so much to me as a kid. My only complaint was it was so goddamn dark, especially that first one. All the transforming seemed to be during nighttime stuff, and then they went and killed Jazz.
The first Transformer you see is Blackout, who flies in at night and destroys the base.
Yeah,
after he kills the power.
Yeah, when Primal showed up and did his chest bump thing, and then Prime walked out and then transformed his arm into a cannon, I was like, oh, sweet Jesus, they're freaking listening to the fan base now. It's about time. This looks great. And it just carried on. And I think the voice selection was perfect.
It was Age of Extinction where the legendaries first rolled up, and Prime's having to establish the pecking order with the legendaries with Grimlock and them. And he's like, let me lead you. And he's having to fight him for a minute. And he's like, you will fight for my family. or you will die. And he puts his sword down, and Grimlock allows him to get up. And at that point, the other one's like, God, what a leader. You just makes you want to die for him. I'm like, exactly.
Yeah.
That's how they get you. They get you pumped. In this trailer, when they it was Primal that was telling him there's this evil coming that's like none before. And he's like, let them all come. And then you just see the battle, them just going. You're just like, this is going to be huge.
Yeah, the car scene with Mirage too. I thought that was great. Like that they did. It looks really good. It looks really good. I try not to get too hyped up with trailers for Transformers, but man, it looks so goddamn good. Like I think TM said something that
Ron
Perlman.
Is he doing Primal?
I'm not sure, but I just recognize was it Peter Weller? Or what's the name? The voice actor that does Prime.
I have not a clue. But didn't he pass away this year?
Did he?
I was gonna say I thought Prime passed away in the last year or two.
Where's TM? TM, we need some facts. TM or TJ? Who's Ron Perlman playing? Who's the voice of Prime? And is he still alive?
Is it Peter Weller? I thought it was
Peter Weller's
Peter Cullen.
Oh, okay.
Cullen.
He is doing Primal. Yeah, Perlman is Primal.
Peter Cullen. That's it. Peter Cullen.
There we go. Look at the chat sounding off. Here we go. Let me go back to this. Big thank you to DJ Links for sending a $4.99 super chat. He said, "We are Lee on. We are Lee."
You had to take the IG out of it.
Well done, DJ.
Dude,
well done.
So thank you for that $4.99 super chat, but thank you for the $5 super chat. This man's not afraid of an extra penny. Papa Willie, one of the newer channel members. Hey, I remember
the IG out of it. That's pretty good.
Don't go anywhere, Papa Willie. You are in the running, and we will see who wins this massive Legion loot giveaway later on. I'll be showing off those books here in just a little bit. But yeah, I'm definitely pumped for it. That Mirage scene was dope. I like when he kind of turned sideways and Buddy stepped out of the car like smoothly.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Red with Bruce Willis when Carl Urban T-boned him out of nowhere. And the car just instantly spins. He doesn't even hesitate. He just opens the door and steps out shooting. Like, dude, that was smooth.
Like G-Force doesn't exist at all. But anyways.
Yeah. Not when you're that good.
Peter is still alive. Okay, so Prime is still alive.
Right.
What is up, Kenneth Bird? How are you tonight? Wait. Is your IG now? Yeah, my IG is down right now. I'm waiting. Like I had to do a verification thing, and it can take up to a week or two for them to get it. So if you need me, I am on the Pops Attic account. If you
Elon bought Twitter and found out there was a whole other social network, he was like, "Let me just buy one account and see what I can do with it."
Just one. But if you go down and if you look up Pops Attic on IG, that's the other page associated with me that my dad operates, but I'm on also. So if you need to message, I'm not going to be posting on there like I do on my account. But if you need to message me, I'll be over there. Legion went to Hive.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Cocaine Bear is a producer on all of Bay's projects.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Right.
Cocaine Bear effects are amazing. Yeah, that looks surprisingly well done. I'm Mark's like, man. Yeah, that's me. It's me. We got a second trailer for Mario as well. People are going to be so mad.
Oh, we did?
Not
I didn't
me.
even see that.
Which tape? Would you like painter's tape, packing tape, Scotch tape? You want Scotch tape? I'll have to ask Scott. But yeah, the other one was Indiana Jones and the Dial of
Destiny.
That. What do you think, Paul?
I liked it. It was good. I mean, I'm hoping that this is the last one because I'm thinking that
I guarantee it's the last one.
Indiana Jones 6. Indiana Jones 6 would be Indiana Jones and the broken hip. I think probably.
I think after he survived a plane crash, they said he can do this forever.
Yeah, but maybe they're gonna hand it off to that girl. I can't think of her name now. The actress there.
Shia LaBeouf.
No.
No, wait.
Coleman. Olivia Coleman, is that her name?
Is she in this new one?
She's in the new one. So maybe they're going to hand it off to somebody. I like the fact that the de-aging looks pretty good. What I saw in the
That's what I wanted to ask. This whole dial of destiny, it makes me think of like turning the hands of time almost. I don't know why, but is it just me or is in some of the scenes it looked like it could have been flashbacks with him young?
Yes.
It almost looks like it goes back to the first one because there's
Yeah,
Nazis and everything, and there's so maybe they're going to do something where he goes back to the first one. Indiana Jones in the reclining chair.
The best Indiana Jones title in the chat. We've got the nursing
Indiana
home
Jones
of doom,
and
The hover round of death.
hover round of death,
Nothing
and the
beats
crystal
it.
bedpan.
I had a friend of mine tell me Indiana Jones and the golden catheter.
The golden catheter.
Why did my knees just slam together?
Oh my gosh. I'll be honest with you guys. I love the Indiana Jones movies. I even enjoyed Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. It felt like an oddball, but I had fun. I think Shia LaBeouf did fantastic in it. I know he's kind of like out of the loop with things right now. I would have loved to see him still have be in a situation where he could still have a good career with projects coming out to have been in this movie. And I think that would have been a great segue to carry this on. If Hollywood, no matter what we think or believe, they're going to find a way to make money off of this stuff. Whether Harrison's there, Shia is there, there's going to be something of Indiana Jones every so often, probably till the day we die. So that being the case with how we know Hollywood is, I would like to have seen something that potentially could have gone. Indiana Jones hates roads and microphones. Yes.
It will be nice to see something from Lucasfilm that doesn't start off with in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
What was the last non-Star Wars film they did? Red Tails?
Ooh, Red Tails was awesome. That's been a long time. That was 2011, maybe.
I mean, they just dropped the Willow series on Disney, so they are doing some other stuff. But
that one tanked fast.
It
was eviscerated across the
So they only got 2 episodes out, I think.
Willow,
Yeah.
2 or 3. But reviewers and critics were given 7 out of 8. They were given everything but the finale. And it's been eviscerated.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what happens when you wait 40 years to make a sequel.
With no Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
With no Val Kilmer. Great shirt. Papa Willie shirt. So for those who don't know, Paul, his Christmas collection.
mm-hmm.
The Temple of
what issue is that?
Keep watching.
I think
94. Action Comics number 94.
Indiana Jones and the Lost Train of Thought.
That's my favorite.
See what I started? My work here is done.
That's the good one. That's it right there.
I got to be honest. I didn't think it was all that good. The same punching sound whenever he punched someone.
Oh,
Sorry, but if a 75 or 80-year-old's about to hit me, I'm not. I doubt he's going to have that impact. But
the only thing you're going to hear is like his
knuckles crumbling off the side of my.
You're going to hear a poof of dust.
Yeah. We'll see.
So
I do like the idea.
Hey,
if this is a time travel movie, I do like that idea. I'll be honest.
I think that's a good way to go. I think it was
Roll up in the
fun
DeLorean.
seeing some of the old tropes with the whip back off and everyone pulling up the gun. But how many times can we do that in every movie before?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I love the first 3 Indiana Jones movies. This one, straight goes into playing on your nostalgia. So he's definitely dying in this one.
Does he survive?
And there's nothing in it. There's nothing in that trailer that looks like not the Crystal Skull, when it should have been their biggest statement.
Yeah.
Whether one person in the world liked it or not, that was a terrible movie, and they should have made sure to prove that it was not another Crystal Skull.
Yeah, I'm curious what they're like.
You remember that jungle chase scene?
Yeah.
You remember the jungle chase scene
With the ants?
and how it ended at the jungle? Man, that's fantastic, dude. But what honestly got me in that one, because I felt like it null and voided the ones before it. Judging based on the lore and the things that he was doing, the adventures he was chasing and attached to it. When you took the lore from the 4th one, they don't coexist in the world. Those two things do not.
No.
It's one or the other.
Yeah, they can't possibly exist in the same universe.
Exactly. That's what got me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I've rewatched it a bunch of times. It's fun. I guess I should be how I preface it. It's not a good movie, but I enjoy it. I enjoy a lot of bad movies. I say that all the time.
Well, and it starts, essentially they're starting to play out the movie that movie they ties off in the beginning of the Cold War, right? So
Yeah.
the fact that we had Nazis in this trailer, they have to be time traveling in this.
From what, to 2022?
I couldn't care less. I don't know if this is an opening weekend movie.
It's either time travel or there's lots of flashbacks, one or the other.
Yeah. Well, I seriously doubt I see this in the theater.
Yeah, they're definitely going to play on nostalgia because there's no way this isn't the last one.
Oh, if The Rock shows up, maybe it'll clear 50 million. He just pops in for a cameo, and
that'll save the whole franchise.
He said,
So let's move on to the next movie, the big one that dropped this week. Oh my God. Like the Transformers, man, I thought I was excited. I had no clue all these trailers were dropping in the same day even. But that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 trailer hit, and I said it in the mix. I said it in the chats after I watched it, but I think that Marvel just topped their entire year of movie and TV show releases with a trailer. That trailer was so good. It didn't give too much, didn't give too little, but the emotion, the nostalgia, the comedy,
they will.
Every emotion absolutely slapped, like hit. Man, it was well put together. I'm absolutely excited. Having just watched that holiday special, and like I was kind of worried that I was kind of burned out on the Guardians humor, because they established the humor in MCU with that franchise, and then it was so good that they wanted to copy and paste it to everything they did and burned me out of Marvel. But then we got that holiday special, and I realized that the magic still exists with that team, with what he does specifically with his writing style and everything. So I'm beyond pumped for this third one.
I would want to take a dodgeball to the face from Drax.
Oh.
Man, that just brought flashbacks back to being, 4 foot nothing and being picked on in grade 6 and grade 7. that dodgeball, man. Boom. Yeah, and then Space Hog with the soundtrack being Space Hog in the meantime, being cut up properly and used slowed down and used really well through this. I'll be honest, I disagree. I think the first trailer for Wakanda Forever hit a little bit harder than this one. But yeah, that's just
I think if you go back and watch it, it doesn't though. That'll probably be the same thing for this too. Though.
I think if you remove James Gunn from the whole thing, you'll realize the Bob Marley soundtrack was probably better.
I don't know. That playing with the emotions of Chadwick's loss just didn't hit me like it did a lot of people. That trailer I loved, dude. I'm not gonna lie, that Wakanda trailer was great. And this one did the same thing, except it wasn't playing off a real person's death. They did it purely on a story of fictional characters that they've attached the viewers to. It wasn't people's like emotions of a real human losing his life.
Walking out there and not
Submariner didn't
when he's getting blasted on the
beach.
Had
nothing to do with that trailer being fired. It was just the reverence to Chadwick that did it. I hope Warlock has done well. Yeah, I think he was. I don't know. I like that actor. I think James Gunn doesn't. Dude, he's just proven himself at this point. James Gunn is a proven filmmaker and writer. It's just until he does something to make us question him, there's no reason to think everything he's not doing right now isn't going to be quality.
So the scene that hit for me was Star-Lord screaming down, looking like he was in agony over what he was watching.
Oh my God, yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know if that's Rocket. It might be Gamora, and he has to deal with Gamora dying a second time. That's what I think it was. That's personally. I think Rocket's too much of a franchise that they don't want to give up just yet. And
when you have characters like Rocket, Groot, you don't have to worry about actors aging out either.
Right.
Because I think raccoons have like an 80-year life expectancy, so he can keep coming back for a long time.
And they sell 10 times more merchandise than any human being does.
Do they?
Yeah. The raccoons and the trees.
Well, Groot was really popular on the secondary market until Baby Yoda came along.
We were talking about that. God, it could have been Friday or last Tuesday, but On Bill Party. I love that movie. It's the only kind of Coke I like. In the full team clip, they're carrying a large body, not Rocket. In the full team clip, they're carrying Peter.
Yeah.
Peter was in their arms. It was cool because Kraglin's off to the side, like shirtless and looking beat up, and he had the fin up. You see people hurt in the clip and everything. You see Peter getting carried. You see Drax getting drug off with a hole in his chest. You see Rocket laying there.
Mhm.
Like, dude, it makes you wonder who's it going to be, if not multiple people.
I think we saw a lot of the origin and like Rocket trying to escape from the High Evolutionary before the whole Guardian saga began. I think Rocket's backstory got really played up into the trailer.
You think
Make
the
it
High
look like
Evolutionary is going to be who created Rocket in this?
Well, yeah,
in the
100%. They're just going to make it quick and easy and make the High Evolutionary kind of look like Dr. Moreau.
And it's cool. That's another one of James Gunn's regulars. That's Myrn from Peacemaker playing the High Evolutionary.
Yep. Great actor.
Did y'all see where he got married? I think it was this week or last week where James Gunn was posting some of the pictures from the reception. He married the actress who plays Harcourt in Peacemaker.
Yep.
And he put up 3 separate photos with him and his friends from the cast of Guardians, him and his friends from the cast of the Suicide Squad, and a photo with the cast from Peacemaker. And it was fantastic seeing Michael Rooker in all the photos and other the crossover, because it's awesome. Like when you're able to do big things to bring your friends with you, it's really cool seeing how they do that. Soulstone is the answer to what's on Warlock's forehead.
Nothing in the movie.
There was something right there.
Yeah, it's some little Levi's button. Soulstone is gone, man. That's what they slapped that in Vision's head. So that's what I'm curious if they're gonna have Adam Warlock like fully aged up like a 20 or 25-year-old, but mentality wise is going to be just like an infant or a toddler. If he's created again by the High Evolutionary. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to this villain. I hope that he's just more than a one movie villain. Probably he's just going to be a one movie villain, but some of the best reading that I enjoyed with the X-Men in the 80s was the Evolutionary War, where they brought the High Evolutionary into the world of the mutants. I thought that was a fantastic Marvel summer crossover event. Might be one of the last great ones, to be honest.
The thing with Drax, like, we know that Batista is done with the character, and he wants to move on beyond it. So, like, it would be pretty easy to kill him. The thing is, he's kind of the Michelangelo of the Guardians. So his death in itself is not that powerful. Him outliving everybody and having to carry that weight is actually more powerful for that character. So he may or may not die in this movie. It just wouldn't have the impact that James Gunn would want to have in a final movie. It's going to be like Rocket. I don't think it would be Peter. I think he has too much longevity for the MCU.
But then what if it's Mantis? Because we saw the actor who plays Mantis, supposedly James Gunn has plans for her in the DCU.
Which brings us to our gun range. What's going on in James Gunn news this week?
But I don't think Mantis carries the weight either, though.
I think multiple people are going to die, and I pointed out that I think that they really pushed Mantis in the holiday special and gave that character more weight, because that means it gives her death more weight. But I say that
I still don't think that's like the weight that they're going for with this one,
Right. It would cause Peter to freak out that how in the scene that we got.
Yeah, it's got to be Rocket or Gamora. That's about it.
He just found out that they were brother and sister, and then they kill her.
Yeah, and James Gunn loves killing off characters. So let's be honest.
Right, and to Mark's point, they propped her up in the Christmas show, right? They kill her here. She's a character that's not necessarily out front enough that you're going to kill the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise if Disney wants to continue it, right?
Yeah,
dude. With the team this big, this is James Gunn who's like did the Suicide Squad, and I don't know why, but The Walking Dead comes to mind when they did the Negan story. In the comics, he kills Glenn, but in the show, they had him kill Abraham and Glenn. They warmed us up with Abraham and gave us that, okay, that sucks, that hurt. No matter how much we don't care about Mantis, that scene, if it is her, will play out in a way that's going to be painful to see someone die, because even if we don't care about her, watching the characters we do care about hurt and react to it, we'll feel something from that. Mm-hmm. And then it'll hurt even more when they start knocking off ones that we're really invested in.
Yeah.
Mantis is such a almost like an innocent character at her core. It would hurt to see a character like that go out.
Like she's had her big 3 moments. Let's look at it. Like, so her introduction was the big moment. Her being a part of that group that almost got the glove off or the gauntlet off Thanos. It was her that put her under where, put him under where Star-Lord then steps up and ruins the whole fucking thing. Pardon me. And then the Christmas special with the announcement that she's a sister. Those are 3 big moments. It's time.
Man wins 2 awards and you just start speaking freely on anyone's channel.
I've been here long enough pre-awards to say what I want.
Yeah.
I lived through the hockey bag drama. I've lived through
that was hockey.
So you've had your 3 moments. You're done.
Suddenly I get dropped.
Let's switch it over to the Gunn range. So James Gunn news for today. James Gunn has got to be like the most interactive creator I've seen in a person in his position, where he just keeps putting stuff out there and talking about stuff. And to Paul's point, was that even on James Gunn's page, or was it just a response that he put to somebody else's tweet?
I don't recall, to be honest with you. I don't want to say the wrong
about Palm.
Yeah, I think it was. He's like,
it's a response to a tweet. Somebody asked if she was in. Whenever he posted the one about planning or whatever on Twitter, somebody asked if she was involved in their plans, and he responded with, "She's always involved in all plans," or something to that effect. So, basically confirming that they have plans for her in the DC.
Mantis is a celestial Madonna. She'll be resurrected. So what else did he put out this week about just stuff in general? Because again, I don't have access to where I would go to where I actually like
other stuff about Palm and DC, that she's already made a cameo as a stripper in the Cena show. And it was just a quick flash on stage. And unless you've seen Palm without the makeup and the CGI, you've probably missed her. I know I missed her. And apparently James Gunn made reference that she has already been in a DC property.
So I mean, we know that he's there's a good chance she'll pop up somewhere as like a legit character, more than likely. I don't think they're going to be like, oh, she was in that cameo, so she can't do it.
Make her one of the Canaries.
Yeah, be interesting.
I thought maybe she would be Harley Quinn going forward if Margot Robbie doesn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's it. That's it
right now, DJ.
Kingdom Come. James Gunn.
Yes.
Kingdom Come. Yeah.
Kingdom Come.
Yeah,
that's the one that
got the planning image. But there was also he dropped that Spotify thing. I guess Spotify is like revealing everybody's profiles. What they is he trolling the guy without IG?
Probably. Well, what's funny is while he said,
"Oh my god, I can't believe it!"
I already have James Gunn's IG sitting here. Right? So we're trying to get portaled up, but it was the Kingdom Come thing where he posted Kingdom Come and he said making plans, and he used the wraparound cover from the second print trade paperback. So that's like huge news, and I hope that that's in reference to the animated universe. Because I know a lot of people who knows what a lot of people are thinking, but I did see some comments were like, this would be a cool movie. And no, it wouldn't. No, that would not be a cool live action movie. I think that would be the opposite of a cool live action movie. I think if you're going to do Kingdom Come justice at all, at this point in where anything film properties is, that's like 2-part animated movie done. That's the only way to do it justice.
Right. Yeah, if for no other reason, then there's no way you could afford all the salaries that you would need for all the actors to be in Kingdom Come.
It's an entire world of metas.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, that's never stopped them before. Look at their version of Black Rain.
Look at the that's true. That came out great, but I mean, just to do the Justice League in there, that would be insane. Just the amount of JSAers, like the core amount of JSAers. And then you have to have enough, like, just rampant. I mean, that's still huge. Like, it's like
it's a huge cast.
And cast the hell out of this. Then who is Superman?
Henry Cavill.
Yeah,
like, it's old man Superman.
You can give him
age
some
him
gray.
up. Age him up. Give him a little bit of the Mr. Fantastic.
He
I
can
mean,
grow a mustache.
He's only been on screen a handful of times, but he's been Superman for like 20 years
You
now.
don't have to age him. Keep in mind, this is still in Bruce's lifetime. Ben Affleck's already looking old in the Snyder cut and stuff. He already had one streak of gray. You just need old Bruce. Superman doesn't age like the rest of them.
So did we bring Ryan Reynolds back?
I wouldn't, because
No.
it's not because Hal Jordan's not in Kingdom Come.
Yeah, Alan Scott is the
Here's
Green
big
Lantern.
anti-Canadian sentiment.
Everyone assumes it's Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan's dead, bro. The Golden Age Green Lantern is the one sitting in the emerald satellite in the sky, parallaxed out on his throne, just watching Earth just dissolve. Like, that dude's a G. I love it.
It's a great
I guess
costume
that's
too.
why I like Alan Scott so much. It goes back to that. Like, I don't know. I was in third grade. I'm like, dude, this is the best Green Lantern ever. And that's also where we get like the first Scarab suit as well. That's also where we get the first time Cyclone ever appears in comics, is in that. And she wasn't even named, but later Jeff Johns, with him being such like a DC historian in the fan aspect, he took Alex Ross's character and he created someone out of it. Same thing with Atom Smasher. That was the first time you see Atom Smasher as Atom Smasher, not Nuklon, was in Kingdom Come. Number 2.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it would probably be best served and probably easier to do from a DC standpoint to do it as an animated, a 2-part animated.
I just hope it's not a 1-part, because Injustice should have been great, but Injustice was only good because it was rushed into one film. DC animation is already great. We need live action great movies, not like others aren't, but yeah, they definitely. That's why I think that Kingdom Come would be horribly planned for right now. Like, if anything you do in an animated movie, you could still do live action whenever you want. That's a whole different market, I mean, it's overlap, but you're not hitting a general market with the animated stuff. But at this point, like, if you did Kingdom Come, you'd be doing it disservice. Like, if a new comic book reader asked me what they should read, my favorite story of all time is Kingdom Come, and I would never tell them to start there. You need to have some familiarity with the characters, so that when you read it, it has the weight that it's meant to have. You should at least have like a Superman story under your belt, All-Star, a Wonder Woman story under your belt. Like, go read The Long Halloween and get an idea of Batman and stuff, and that brooding that he does that you see when Alan Scott. And Hawkman next to him.
Yeah.
Northwind.
Yeah, Alex Ross would have to do the movie posters, let's be honest.
And y'all know what Flash that is? It looks like Jay Garrett. Wally West.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Wally?
That's Wally. He put on Jay's helmet and he never stops running. Fire.
Hey, do you see who's on over the left shoulder of Superman there?
Yeah, that's from the JSA book. That's a Hawkman, Mr. Terrific, Jay Garrett, Stargirl, looks like Alan Scott, and Hourman maybe.
Where am I going? Right here.
Stargirl, yeah.
Stargirl.
Yep.
That's issue 21, I think.
Okay.
That's the cover that Zack Snyder homaged in the hallway scene in Man of Steel. Like, you see it in posters even when he chooses to let them handcuff them so that they feel safer.
Power Girl. Who would we cast as Power Girl?
Pam Anderson, circa 1990.
Right.
I appreciate the Canadian sentiment, but she did not necessarily age well.
I said circa 1994.
Didn't she play a comic book character in
Barbed Wire?
She played Barbed
Yeah,
Wire.
Barbed Wire, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Stargirl, she's coming back, I guarantee you. Dude, and the series canceling is there's good possibilities out of that, because they initially wanted to include Stargirl in the Black Adam movie, but didn't want to do the overlap with the show, being that they're trying to get the show more in line with film stuff. So they didn't want to throw people off. We'll see. We shall definitely see. So I don't know what else he posted. That Kingdom Come thing had me excited as hell, though. Also a little nervous. I don't see anything else off the top of my head.
Yeah, the only other thing he posted was the Spotify thing, because they're like,
Oh, the
he's
sound.
yeah, basically he says like,
You know.
because he made like a playlist or something. So apparently there are 2 songs as that are going to appear in DC projects he's working on. So if anybody has Spotify and they want to go mine his playlist, they can figure that out. But he said there's only 2 songs on there that are in future DC projects. So
And also want to ask another thing. This is completely off topic, but me and brother John were talking about World's Finest and the character Boy Thunder. Mark Wade posted on his social medias, like, has anybody figured out who Boy Thunder really is yet? Apparently he put something out a while back telling the readers that Boy Thunder is not a new character. The moniker of Boy Thunder is new, like, backstory, I guess, are given to the character, but it is a character that everyone does know, or I mean, he's been out there, it doesn't mean everybody is aware of who the character is. I guess it depends on who it is, but they're going to be revealing who he is in issue 10 or 11 or something like that, who he really is. Didn't know if y'all had seen about that or did any investigative digging. Brother John was looking into it heavily, like looking at his power set and bouncing it off of stuff he knows. He's suspecting it's possibly a Legion of Superheroes. No, he's saying a Legion of Superhero character. Is it Joachim Thunder? No, it is not. There's no genie involved. Joaquim's awesome, though. If you like Joaquim, check out Stargirl. He is a regular. But yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. I didn't have any time to kind of dive in. Ryan said BRB, but Brother John's doing the Lord's work trying to solve that mystery.
Megan Fox's Power Girl. I like the Kate Upton. That was pretty good.
What did she do? Like commercials for video games for your phone or something?
She's on the cover of the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition.
I don't subscribe, but I do remember that she was. I remember her from like Clash of Champions or some video game for your telephone that you could download, and like there was like a big deal that this actress or model or whatever was in the ad for that. I remember that from like 10 years ago maybe, but it seems like it's been a long time.
I'm gonna pull up a picture.
I think we'll all be better for it.
This is true.
Bad Girl from Andor is Power Girl.
that's the amount of information I could go on.
Now, I don't know.
Okay, so just picture Power Girl right now, her outfit, the whole 9 yards. Tell me this is not your Power Girl.
Yeah, I think can't think of a better one at this point. Kate,
Like she looks just like her. Like her hair is perfect, just like Power Girl. I'm just saying her hair is perfect.
yeah, her hair is spot on.
Okay, now I'm gonna throw up Power Girl. Maybe the Adam Hughes one.
Adam Hughes one, yeah, from issue 1 of JSA Classified. Same person.
That's it. Perfect.
Paul says she has big eyes.
Yeah.
They will do a black Power Girl. Mark, how do you not know who Kate? Do you live in a hole? Currently, I live in an Instagram hole. Yeah, same person. I don't.
Yeah, she has a real nice belt on.
Her chest isn't big enough. Oh my god!
She can go.
I mean,
she go to work out, man.
but really, it's the personality. Like, without the personality, Power Girl is not Power Girl. Sorry.
Well, Power Girl, they normally play her as like a fish out of water, no matter how long she's been in this earth. She's the straight one, not comfortable in most situations. If she's not in her suit, and when she's in her suit, she's no nonsense. So it doesn't really take like a shining personality to pull that off. You need someone with a stiff personality.
Yeah.
So Kate Upton's not a very seasoned actor. That might be a good call for it.
Yeah, but she gives a lot of pushback. She doesn't take no shit. And so I think
Did you say push up?
No, not even.
Okay.
That to me is the most important aspect of what makes Power Girl not just an image, is the fact that she is always willing to fight back and stand up for herself.
I always thought she was very stoic, though. Like,
Oh yeah, she's serious as shit.
yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but like also she doesn't take nothing off nobody,
Yeah. So, what Earth is she originally from then? Two.
She was a Supergirl of Earth 2 back when they were separate.
Ryan, you'll be getting into a lot of that content really soon here. Because you're still going through the JSA stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
What issue are you up to at this point?
Actually, the last issue I read was 39, which was like this really crappy issue about this guy that gets out of prison. Well, he escapes from prison, but he has a crush on Power Girl. And so the whole issue is about Power Girl and dealing with him, which again, she isn't willing to take no crap off nobody. So doesn't really go the way that he's been dreaming about for 2.5 years behind bars. But all in all, the issue was pretty inconsequential, so it wasn't that great.
Do y'all remember Star Trek Into Darkness? I don't know who Captain Kirk's daughter is, but do y'all remember Star Trek Into Darkness?
Yes.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Remember how Peter Weller was in it as the bad guy and Alice Eve played his daughter? Alice Eve was in a couple other things, like there's a comedy movie called
Adam Eve?
No, Alice Eve is the name of this actress. That's what I'm thinking of. She's on the TV show with nerds. I don't know. With Kirk's exploits, anyway.
True that.
He was a handsome devil in his day.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some cool stuff. Y'all want to get into some books? Y'all got any other topics or anything y'all want to hit?
I'm down to talk books.
Yep.
Did you guys happen to catch the retrospective trailer for Ant-Man that was dropped in amongst all of those trailers as well?
Mm-mm.
I didn't know another one dropped. I'll be honest with you. I'm taking Ryan's approach to a degree on a lot of this stuff. I'm watching these first trailers. I'm attempting my hardest to refrain from there.
So it was basically Ant-Man from Paul Rudd's beginning right up through the end of Endgame. That scene where he's the first character to see that life had returned before the
butterfly,
before the rocket shower came and blew everything to hell. And then it did a little bit of the trailer that we've seen before, but then the final scene is we get a little bit more of the vocalization that Kang does to Ant-Man. And basically just calls them out like who do you think you are? Like, I believe it is, do you think you actually have a chance, Ant-Man? And then it pans back to Paul Rudd. That leads me to the thought, I think either him or the Wasp are going to get killed off in this movie just to lift Kang up to the heights, or to the almost of the heights of what Thanos is, to be respected as a villain.
Are we done with Phase 4?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're already speculating deaths in Guardians. That's confirmed. There's people are going to die in Guardians.
But Ant-Man's first, remember. Thinking
that there might be some deaths in Ant-Man at this point, do you think like that's going to be kind of a theme? I don't mean like killing off people, but killing off people like an actual, like we're seeing a lot of contracts in. We're seeing a lot of people ready just to be doing other things. No, like on good terms, obviously, but that's really how you can't just let them go off and be happy, because how could they live with themselves letting things happen and not getting involved kind of thing? But do you think we're going to be seeing a lot more of that? We know Chris Hemsworth's out. No matter what anyone tries to say, and who I'm talking to, Chris Hemsworth is not happy at all with what they did with Thor, and he's not coming back. And we know not without approval. Yeah, and like everyone's like, oh, that's because he got that news. He's pre whatever for all. Dude, that's nothing he'll be dealing with in the next few decades. Even that's an older life kind of thing. Which by then, but anyways,
the plot is there now, because we see Ant-Man's daughter. She has her own suit and that, and we all know that they've been set.
Right?
they've been setting up a Young Avengers team.
Mhm.
And you're right, because you remember Phase 2, in every movie, someone lost a hand to an homage to The Empire Strikes Back. For Phase 5, they could kill off main characters or important characters along the way. And if Ant-Man or Wasp fall, or say Hank Pym or his wife, Jenna Van Dyne, if one of them fall, okay. And then it's no secret that Dave Bautista wants to be finished with Drax. He's talked about it before. That's why I sincerely think he may fall in this one. And then see what's next. Like Bob Iger wants to shift the whole thing around. Why not let them kill a character off in every movie to jack up the value of Kang, and then hopefully
Yeah, I
Doctor
think
Doom
that's a good
afterwards.
way to really establish him. You know what I mean?
They have, yeah.
But
They
TJ
have
says
to
Ant-Man
get
has
the
to die in
point.
order for Kang's story to progress. Quote, have I killed you before? That's what Kang said to Ant-Man in that first trailer. Where he's like, I'm an Avenger. He's like, an Avenger. Have I killed you before? So even if we see him kill him in an alternate timeline, I guess we'll see it. I'm kind of conflicted. Is Kang more powerful than Thanos? I guess it's a time and place kind of thing. It's a situational kind of thing. Like you catch Thanos just rocking out in the space rocks,
Yeah,
just
you gotta
chilling, and Kang's there with all visibility. Yeah, sure. And
Kang
that's
has no superpower whatsoever.
it's all the suit.
It's all the suit. It's his genius and his intellect, and the fact that he's a perfectionist. Thanos is like the Mad Titan. He really is a powerhouse, and a
Genius.
genius in his own right. If you want to look at it from one perspective.
Kang has to get our respect. Characters are going to die across multiple timelines. That would be good. There's a few of them that I really wish they would. Like we just hop over to the Thor timeline and don't even address the characters. Just snip it.
There's in this retrospective trailer that just got dropped earlier this week. There's a couple scenes with Captain America where Ant-Man hands the shield to Captain America in Civil War. That scene at the airport is like, I believe this belongs to you, Captain America. And that scene, and then where Ant-Man's outside the compound, and Steve says, "Is this live?" And it made me realize how much I've already missed Captain America being through everything that we've been through since Endgame. Steve Rogers, I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, he's missed. I'm excited for the Sam Wilson stuff. I feel like it's taking us forever to get there, and by the time it does, he's gonna lost all of his momentum with that character. Like it's been way too long since they did anything with Falcon as Cap. They're really just letting that putter out, if you ask me. Yeah, there we go. Snip Professor Hulk. That would be a great timeline. Take him and Scar, both of them. Give us Joe Fixit. I wouldn't want him to give us Joe Fixit. I don't want him to give us nothing Hulk until they get this in a different direction altogether.
Yeah.
Like just shelve Hulk. Quit just
1 million BC
dragging
Hulk.
him through the mud. How long? Oh my God! How long would it take to like actually? How many movies would it take to progress Hulk back to something enjoyable when they've taken this long to digress him to where he is?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like that character has no momentum at this point. So just let the momentum that whatever minuscule amount there is, let it dissipate. And then you can relaunch him, and in one movie you could turn him completely around. But if they try to do it right now, like people still remember all the garbage.
Just watch Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm really looking forward to what's in his future. Did he get the loan this time? Did he get the loan? Are things looking up for him? I want live action Immortal Hulk movie. Yeah, everyone does. That's why I want Disney to get away from Hulk and leave it alone.
Well,
Because if you
Hulk is what they're coming up with.
Dude, we've already trashed that. He already has Scar. That's post World War Hulk. We already had Ragnarok. That's pre World War Hulk. We literally hopped right over it.
Just take the Hulk and do this, and then pick up Beta Ray Bill and put him in his place. And I think everyone would be happy.
Because like he literally
give him Stormbreaker for God's sakes.
Came home with Scar, so like that's. I mean, they
I'd
can
come
always
home with
spin some kind of crappy narrative, I guess, and make him mad, and then have She-Hulk come in and just beat him up or whatever. But I don't know. I just wanted to leave Hulk alone for a while. I'm a Hulk fan. Like I just read this new Hulk today. Like this new series, World Breaker Hulk, set 1,000 years in the future. It was
All right.
it was boring as shit.
All
Well, no back. Tell us how you really feel.
That was pretty much it. That was a full review.
Yeah.
Y'all want to jump on some comics?
I was gonna say, let's get into
let's
books so we don't have to
talk about
dance
Hulk.
around just reviewing them.
All right, Chris, you read this too? So
I did read.
7,000
I did
years-
read it. Yep.
It's on Sakar, where you have like what can only be referred to as religious zealots, like sitting there preaching how the Hulk's like memory and his legacy is what remains, and he wasn't a savior of this planet. He ruined this planet. There's rivers of lava and ash for skies, and any of the green skinned people that still exist are like hunted and shunned and everything. And this girl and her brother are running from the hordes of people who are mad that he ruined their planet. And the little brother gets kidnapped, and she goes and finds Amadeus, who lives on this world somehow, some way, and says, "I knew right where you lived, even though we never came to you beforehand. We decided to come to you now, and I need your help. Let's go get him." And all right, let's go get him. And dumb.
Sorry, I fell asleep competing with Paul over there during that review.
So will I pick up issue 2? Absolutely. The cover was the best part of this book.
You are the problem.
It don't mean it'll stay that way. I mean, I hope for a good Hulk story. It was just setting the tone and everything. We don't get Amadeus walking out to the last page. So it was really like, if it's 1,000 years in the future, you do have to play set. You do have to tone set and everything. And it wasn't that. It was well put together. It wasn't poorly written. It hasn't drew me in yet, but it don't mean it won't. So we'll see.
For me, it was just simply the brother, the sister. Too much happened too quick. Just the pacing was a little off for me with this book. There wasn't a chance enough to enjoy those characters or feel something for those characters.
And you know why?
They just rushed it.
They cut the book in half to include a random She-Hulk story that has nothing to do with the actual story for the back half of it, which I didn't read because F you Marvel for doing that.
This is the part where I would try to defend against Mark. But I'm putting the gun in the holster.
You sold us a Planet Hulk book and gave us half of one that was rushed to throw a She-Hulk story in the back to attempt to make people like She-Hulk who don't like She-Hulk because what you did with that show.
And the artwork for the She-Hulk actually paled greatly in comparison to what was not bad up front. It was not bad. Considering that it's dark visuals and like there's minus light of day, the whole 9 yards, just to sell this dreary narrative.
So I do like that they're doing Amadeus in this one. Like Banner is referenced like he could possibly be out there somewhere. I do like they're doing Amadeus because if you remember, Planet Hulk 2 was an Amadeus story that ran during his run where he went back, which was a fun story. It was super cool. So I do like that they're using him because he does tie into the old Planet Hulk mythos and everything. So I'm expecting it to actually be entertaining and fun on that level. It's nothing grand. There's nothing grand about this. It's just going to be a fun Amadeus story. So,
but I
if they keep putting She-Hulk stuff in here, I'm going to whack these books and only keep the good part.
This issue 1, Planet Hulk World Breaker, was better than Hulk issue 1 by Donny Cates.
Very true. And issue 2 by Donny, and issue 3.
And it didn't need Iron Man to show up to save the story.
I'll be honest with you. I enjoyed the Donny Cates stuff a little better than that just because of the level of action. Like, that scene when Mantis finds out that Kevin Bacon is an actor? I do that while I read Donny Cates' Hulk. But
come on.
Yeah, Donny Cates' Hulk.
Got the Cyclops friggin' visor on the front. Come on, man.
What else y'all got? Ryan, Paul, y'all pull something. Oh, Paul's ready. Paul's ready. Got a stack of books. What's he going to pull? Oh, he's going for the throat right out.
Oh, man.
My goodness.
Number 1, swinging for the fences. Read of the week.
Yes.
He's like, after that Hulk book, we need to turn this show around.
Exactly.
We're going to lose viewers. We keep talking about the Hulk.
There you go.
Yeah, I had to get that gold embossed. I wish they would have had an option with the cover not embossed in full color because I love that image. I got that 1 in 25 Jerry Ordway.
Jerry Ordway, yeah.
Or just pencils. Like,
Yeah, dude, that is fire.
look, Kate Upton's on the front right there.
Katie Sackhoff.
And then the A cover, and then had to get that awesome B cover with my main man with Pots and
Oh
Pans.
yeah,
Scott.
Love that collar.
dude, Alan Scott's so sick.
So this is Jeff Johns crafting out this little micro pocket in the DC universe, story world building stuff. You know, this all ties in, going back as far as Watchmen, Doomsday Clock. There's Flashpoint, the Flashpoint Beyond series. He's really building off of a large scale thing, but he's doing it subtly and not so subtly in some aspects. But this is one of the Justice Society. We just had the new Golden Age one shot that came out to set the stage. And we're kicking off with this whole concept of there's this character, the mysterious character going all through time and killing all the JSAers. And we really get to see him for the first time in this. What did you guys think of this fantastic kickoff series?
I loved it. I love the fact that, I mean, I'm a sucker for when Johns brings something new, but also references the history. Like he did. I mean, I can clearly remember when they killed the Earth 2 Batman back in the 80s in Adventure Comics. Because they had lost their own title, and so the Justice Society was part of Adventure Comics at the time. And I can remember the cover. Jim Aparo did the cover. It showed Bruce Wayne laying in the coffin and everything. It was like, they went through exactly what the story was, written by Paul Levitz. It was just amazing. And I love how he intertwines all of these different things and manages to bring something new while still doing fan service for the people who have been there, for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been there for a long time, but I did all the homework for the last 2 or 3 weeks. So this issue absolutely hit on every level. Just every panel, every page, I'm like, oh, that. Just connecting all these dots, and it was just incredible to see how it all came together. And then I had this conversation with John's comics with kids. He was like, well, I wasn't really into the new Golden Age because it felt like I didn't know enough to read it. And so how was this one? And I'm like, well, comparatively speaking, they honestly don't give you everything you need to enjoy this if you haven't read all the other stuff. But I also don't see anything wrong with that. Maybe sometimes we do have to put it all together. Maybe sometimes and it sucks. I get it. People don't have all the time in the world and stuff, but there's a lot of stuff I've sacrificed for the last 2 weeks to read everything that I've read, and so I think ultimately it comes down to either make the choice to be into it or not. But this issue delivered on everything that you could have wanted if you've been reading all of the Jeff Johns stuff.
Yeah, and there's also nothing wrong with constructing a story in a way that you don't necessarily have to go back and read all that other stuff, but that encourages you and excites you to go back and find all that other stuff.
Oh, yeah. Which is where I'm at, for me, it all started with the Black Adam movie, and then I find out Black Rain is the better version of the movie. So I'm like, let me check that out. And then sure enough, it is the better version of the movie. And so from there, I'm like, this is all so good. I want to read all of this other stuff that connects to it. And that's the rabbit hole I went down, and I'm 1,000 times happier for it. And that's the thing, in this book, I think he does give, he even does a character profile of every character that's on the new JSA, Right. The thing is, there is one artifact.
The old books, when you would open an old comic, the first page, you'd have character profiles to know not only who to expect to see, but to know what they do, it's a new reader tool.
Yeah. So overall, I thought this book was mostly new reader friendly, with the exception of one artifact that's kind of critical to the whole story. There's no way that you could have known what was happening in that moment if you have not read
and when that moment happened, it literally took 1 year worth of reading comics and just threw it all in your brain. It's oh
yes,
don't throw that. And they made that artifact so important. All right, quick synopsis.
Whenever it pops up, you're just like,
Yeah. Quick synopsis of the book. We get introduced to Huntress, and she's looking for Dr. Fate. She's looking for him via her typical tactics. She's using Batman-style tactics, beating up criminals, questioning them. We see that she has a ragtag team filled with Solomon Grundy, the Harlequin, who's like Harley Quinn's son, and we quickly think, what is happening on this earth? We see a list of villains and criminals on this team, with Huntress saying Dad would give him a second chance, blah blah blah. And we go through this story where they're trying to find Dr. Fate, all to see the culprit that was introduced in the Golden Age number 0 or 1, and then this, who we know is killing the JSA through time. He pops up and offs her team, just completely takes him out, and it looks like he's about to kill Huntress. And Catwoman pops in to save the day. Huntress screaming, "Get out of here, Mom." We're now thinking they're both going to die. And then Catwoman pulls a Hail Mary that just takes you back in your seat. And she pulls out Dr. Manhattan's snow globe, the artifact that Rip Hunter had in Flashpoint Beyond that was the catalyst of the events in that, and throws the damn thing. And we already know that this thing is literally holding together realities in other places. Thomas Wayne's existence is contingent upon this snow globe.
Yeah.
If you know Jeff Johns, you know to expect Thomas Wayne getting pulled back into this story somewhere. So they threw that damn snow globe and left it for us to wait a month. Yes. Yeah, we're about to have a month to wait to see what happens from this literal reality-altering overhand that she just did.
So I'm someone in my teen years. I read DC characters individually. I read Crisis on Infinite Earths, and I enjoyed it. I was lost with a lot of the characters because I wasn't aware of who they were, just because they aged me by half a century. I found myself struggling with a couple of characters. I don't quite know who this is. I don't quite know who this is. But when Catwoman shows up, I was just like, of all the characters, Catwoman, and then the dialogue back and forth, as quick as what it was like, okay, we're not. That's when I realized, like, okay, I got to take all my preconceived notions of Earth 1 and everything that I've been reading since Infinite Frontier and wipe that away, because we're off to something totally new here. And where's Superman? Like, because I just kept expecting Justice League stuff, because that's what I'm so familiar with. So I understand, I understand John saying that he wasn't necessarily familiar with it, because I suffer from that too. But this was gripping, and the artwork was excellent. I enjoyed this much more than what I enjoyed Stargirl.
This was the Janon's art, right?
Yes. Yeah. And it played out almost like the first act of a movie.
And I think what you said is like how it was intended to be. You're supposed to feel out of place, because I am Paul's been doing this for forever, like, for his entire life, like for decades he's been following this. I've been doing this my whole life as well, and I'm a hound for DC and the continuity and the multiple Earths and playing Where's Where. And Jeff Johns threw me for a loop. I'm sitting here expecting Earth 2. I don't expect to be on Earth 1 yet, just because I'm thinking what's John's up to. But he still didn't allow me to get my bearings, which was awesome. Like, I know that this is not Huntress from Earth 1. This is, as soon as they show us that this is Bruce and Selena's kid, this is Earth 2 Huntress. This is the first Huntress, not Helena Bertinelli that was introduced in her own series. This is the one from the DC preview issue. And so I'm thinking Earth 2. But then we find out you don't get to assume what time you're in. And if you look, he gave us the clues in the beginning. He said 10 years ago, 20 years ago. And then when it took us into our actual story, what was it, like 3 years in the future or something?
Yeah.
We were reading
3 years later.
But I got comfortable. I got comfortable assuming I know this universe. And that was such a cool twist for him to hit us with. I should have known when Solomon Grundy was her sidekick. Like,
right?
So my question is this. Modern timeline, Amanda Waller has escaped. Is she on Earth 2 with her super suicide squad?
No, Amanda Waller's on Earth 3 where the crime
three.
Okay. Yeah, she took up
that was the one thing I kind of expected. Like, are we going to get a drop of Suicide Squad? Are we going to get that drop?
Dude, I think they're really holding that one close to the chest. There's no way that they're going to sleep on Suicide Squad for too long, because that's a successful franchise like inside of DC Comics. You know what I mean? That's just something that doesn't go anywhere. And they better not sit on it for too long. But I'm a huge Suicide Squad fan, but I'm okay with them sitting because I just feel like they're sitting to come in a big way. Like that's event return material, in my opinion. Because if we know she's rocking with Ultraman right now and Owlman, that's dude, she's rocking with God tier team right now. Amanda Waller is at her strongest right now, sitting and waiting.
Well, yeah, she has her whole own Earth.
Basically, yeah.
Like
Checkmate.
Lazarus Planet, maybe.
She has her
Like,
own Superman.
Yeah.
2 of them.
2 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're like God tier Waller right now. So yeah, Lazarus Planet probably.
Yeah.
Now, I don't even think they'll do that. I think it's going to be something like, dude, it's going to have to be like Battle Earths at this point. You have an entire Earth, and like, we got to get through Dark Crisis and see how they want to structure after that. I don't think Lazarus Planet's going to really affect the continuity like that because of how self-contained it is. Because it's not tying into other stuff. It'll be like 4 or 6 individual one shots that tells that story.
Yeah.
But dude, I'm pumped for that. But it's that magic stuff we've been looking for. That I think this is the one that they were really teasing. Is this because this is all magic, all like powerhouse level. But yeah, Justice Society, fantastic.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, it was phenomenal. That whenever Homeboy shows up, what do we have a name for him yet?
The bad guy, I don't know if they've given.
Dude, when he walks in the room and just like draws
monitors
everybody's card, like, come on, man. That scene was so good. You're just like, okay, that's it. Like, this whole issue was just like to watch everybody die. Like, what's going on? And then Catwoman comes in the room. You're like, oh, what?
And when as soon as she pulled that snow globe,
Oh yeah.
Mm.
What are you doing with that? It should be in a vault somewhere. Like,
Rip's gonna be pissed.
you think you had a problem with somebody taking it? Just wait.
Yeah, Batman didn't even leave the vault with it.
Right.
Golly. Yeah, great read.
That whole ending, man. Like the whole first part of it's just like a great mystery, and you're like, I'm as confused as she is. Like, let's do this, you know. And then mostly just so I could reference them. But yeah, it was like this great mystery book, and then you get to the end, and like all the dominoes start to fall, and it's just like, boom.
Yeah, one thing I love that we didn't even talk about, but we had the daughter of the Golden Age Red Lantern in this. What Jeff Johns did in it. Even if you don't read it, you might want to go to your LCS and pick up a copy of that new Golden Age one shot, because in the back of that you have a character index of all these Golden Age characters and sidekicks, and it gives you their first appearance and everything and what comic, and none of those comics exist. Because what Jeff Johns has done is created all these Golden Age characters that, you know, had the Golden Age characters ran all the way to now and never stopped. Like, you know, in that era, we would have seen characters fill out and stuff. So we have this history of characters that we now get to introduce in these timelines and stuff. So the Red Lantern was the daughter of the Golden Age Red Lantern, who only now exists. They're creating so many characters. So, like, to your point, Chris, when you saw those characters around the table, that was their first appearance in comic books, even though they're playing off like they have a history.
But it was also nice that Jeff Johns paid a little bit of service to his TV show Stargirl, the son of Icicle, Cameron.
Yeah,
right?
Cameron, he was in there. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's an original from the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
You're never too late, Bert. You're never too late. Also, Steve, I don't know if you know, my IG is locked down. I'm operating from Pop's attic right now.
Which in his was it CBR or comicbook.com that did that article came from at the beginning of last week?
What article?
The one with Jeff Johns, the interview.
Oh wow, yeah. I don't know. I shared it to my IG so I wouldn't forget.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Okay, but in that he actually talks about that, how, like, you know, we know that there's like all these publishers that were lost to time, that there were all these comic books that were lost to time, and like what we know of comic book history from the Golden Age, like it's basically the best of, like, the cream of the crop surfaced, and there's like tons of comics that don't even exist from that period, you know, that we don't even know about for the most part, you know, because all of the copies of those books were destroyed because they were worthless and basically not popular. And so he talks about that, like, why can't we assume that there were like sidekicks in the golden age that just like never really appeared, that there were whole like characters that we don't even really know about because there's no books of them left intact to really read about or anything, and so that's kind of like a big part of what he's doing with the new golden age is like, let's just like history stuff, like all of these extra characters that may or may not have even existed. Who really knows,
Dude, he's such a fun writer to follow because when it comes to working within the parameters of a fixed universe, he has found a way that's unique to him and very few others to really bring original content, to really bring something like I said, I went in with so many assumptions, like in a comfortable feeling, and he was able to take me to a place I felt like I was reading something for the first time. I'm completely unfamiliar with all of these people. I have no clue where I'm at, and I got to discover it as I went and be shocked at the end of a book of a writer of a storyline that I have followed every page of. Like, that's awesome. That's what these are all about.
From a throw.
Chris is GTG. You work tonight, Christopher?
I gotta take off soon, but I just want to quickly touch on Plush. Ryan, I know that you're into indies. Did you guys read Plush at all?
I did not read this.
I have a copy I pre-ordered, a variant I pre-ordered that I'll get in and not read, to be honest with you. But what was it about? Was it about?
Yeah, I do want to know what it's about.
It was actually a lighthearted, fun read. Basically, it's dealing with a guy who just found out that his fiance cheated on him, and
lighthearted, bro.
Yeah, lighthearted. The story is lighthearted. It's not. It doesn't take itself too seriously because it pokes fun at itself.
She was only a fiance, not a wife yet.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it was his girlfriend. Maybe.
She should have put a ring on it.
But his woman cheated on him, and they're not married yet. And his buddy says, well, let's just go to this convention, and it backs up a little bit, and you get to see that they're dressed up as furries. So they're going into a furries convention, and so he goes in, and they're just walking around the convention, and the guy says, well, I need to go use the washroom. And when he goes to washroom, he goes down like a wrong turn in this building, and he sees 3 furries cannibalizing a human body. So he gets so freaked out that he bursts out a back door looking for help, and a cop shows up, and he says, oh, no, not you. And this cop turned out he's the one that nailed his fiance behind his back. So there's that interaction between the two of them. The cop ends up arresting him, bringing him back to jail, and the chief of the police turns out to be the father of the girl and says, you're not breaking up with my daughter. I don't care what she did. You two are staying together. Your family is powerful, and I'm on the election ticket. I need to get reelected. Meanwhile, the furries that were the cannibals have snuck up to the jailhouse where they're being held, and that's where it ends. Like I said, it's
what happened
light.
On page 2?
It's light, and it doesn't take itself seriously.
Nothing.
I thought it was all right. Totally lighthearted, because I can't take crap like that too seriously. The lighthearted part is they're all wearing furry costumes.
All of them, every character in the book.
Not the cops.
I was wondering. I don't know how they play it. It's an indie book. Who knows what they do?
Yeah. It's worth the read for issue 1, just to like look at it, have a laugh. If it's for you,
what's
God
funny
bless you.
about
If it's not, throw in a Legion loot box.
You need Jesus.
The writer needs Jesus.
I'm just a depraved reader. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I don't come up with this stuff.
Hey, I got 5 books this week. There's someone named Wagner. I don't know. Lindsay Wagner,
that name sounds familiar.
She was the bionic
woman.
Makes sense all this.
All right. Doug Wagner. I actually know none of these.
I'll be your Doug.
I know none of these creators.
What's wrong, Doug?
Doug and Patty Mayonnaise.
Take it easy with the Black Doug, man.
Yeah, dude. Thank you. That Hangover movie, I love that whole franchise. That first movie, that was like the most subtle, funniest part ever. When like, dude, that's the wrong Doug, and he's just like handcuffed. I'll be your Doug.
Yeah, the artwork is very stylistic of Stray Dogs. Yeah, yeah.
That's gonna be your MO from now on.
Lighthearted.
Next week, Crystal dresses a furry.
No.
Oh, he wrote Vinyl. That's why.
Vinyl, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually didn't read that series either, but I heard great things about it. And I definitely remember the name.
Yeah,
Outside
they
of
push vinyl in this, actually.
That sleepy read of World Breaker Hulk. I did catch up on a few back issues. I read that Department of Truth issue, which was a great issue. There's nothing bad about a single one of these books. It was fantastic. And knowing that they're going on a hiatus kind of breaks my heart, because in this one, it's strictly Cole speaking with his partner and Lee Harvey about addressing his husband, who they know Black Hat has touched base with, and they're trying to feel that whole situation out. Are we going to have to kill him? Can we see if we can not kill him?
Ruby's line at the end there.
It's a little bit of beating around the bush with Cole and his husband in one scene, and he goes back and talks to them again. He pretty much they just go and address him, and Lee Harvey Oswald shows up, and he's like, dude, his husband even asks her, y'all, like they even joke a little bit about like having to kill him. And he's like, dude, this is not cool. You just threatened me. He's like, I didn't threaten you. I'm just saying we're trying to figure out how we move forward. And Lee Harvey Oswald walks in. He's like, we're not going to pussyfoot. I'm going to tell you some truths about us, and you're going to share them out. They're trying to stop the lies, or stop.
They're trying to control the narrative.
Yeah, they're trying to control the narrative. They're trying to stop the truths from the Ministry of Lies of getting out, because they're realizing how much out of hand the world is getting. They kind of touched on like numerous attacks of fictions and all these different places. And when they go to the scenes, they see other fictions that are existing, like there's a chupacabra outbreak, which is like any cryptids kind of can get created. And when they went there to look, there's like Black Hawk helicopters that are down on the scene that were never real helicopters and stuff. They're seeing how everything's getting out of hand, how this war of the narrative back and forth is really getting out of hand of everybody involved. And then they just kind of leave us. It wasn't a big bombastic issue. It wasn't this crazy like bookended thing with this crazy kicker. It was just a subtle, good story, like all of them have been, with a ton of content. And it's crazy to think it's on hiatus at that point.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, it's kind of a weird issue to go on hiatus with. You think they're
to trade paperback on that issue.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's a cliffhanger for like diehards, like us, because like, holy crap, like Oswald just like outed himself to Maddie, but what is the average person going to hang on to?
There will be. I drink your milkshake. It's a movie about family, though.
Yeah, I am finished. Another one that I checked out, finally caught up on, Love Everlasting issue number 4. This was a good issue. There wasn't as much playing with the mystery narrative in this, which I thought was cool.
Wait, is this the World War I issue?
This is the World War I issue where Joan is a singer in a bar, and a group of friends come in, and a guy, like the friend said, you got to go talk to her. She's gorgeous and everything. He goes and talks to her, and they have an interaction. Like, they talk, and he's like, buy me a drink. The guy's like, I don't drink. I'm just here with my friends. We just enlisted. We're heading out tomorrow. And then some time goes by, and the group of friends come back -1, and he's drinking this time. They're coming to drink on the behalf of their friend that they lost. And he talks to Joan again, confesses his love to her, and she holds back because part of the job that she's not going to get invested in the people that come in here. More time goes by, and they come back again, -1 more friend. And this keeps going and going until we find that there's only him left. Along the way, he gets like shell shock syndrome, I think is what they called it at the time, or fatigue. One of the two. I don't remember which one came first.
Shell shock.
War fatigue. Shell shock came first. And the way that you can honestly remember that, every time they readdress that same condition, they added a syllable to it. Shell shock, war fatigue, post-traumatic stress disorder is what it is now. But there's been 4 or 5 iterations of it over time, and they just kept expanding the name of the symptom. But anyways, he had shell shock. And it gets down to it where she realizes he's about to leave to go back to the front line, and he knows he's never coming back. That's what his life looks like, watching all of his friends die behind him. So she refuses to let him go, and she kind of breaks the narrative, because we know Joan's been experiencing this time loop and going into these situations where love is the catalyst of her story. So she forces love on him at that point. She says, "No, I agree. I'll marry you. Just kiss me, and we'll be safe here forever." And as soon as they kiss, boom, you get that page turn where everything's different. You're in a different love story. She's in a different setting in the midst of the next thing. So she chosen this one to save someone's life. So we found out that Joan now has figuring it out, which I thought was so cool. I'm sitting here the whole time waiting for it, and then they hit you with that. I'm like, dude, this book is so unique. And you just get lost in the love story narrative, and then you get hit with that Westworld twist. I'm like, dude.
Yeah, this is kind of the sleepy issue before the finale. Like the next one is just like you're like, oh my god, I can't even keep up. And then they turn around and twist that all around again on you. So yeah,
it was cool. And then the last one that I caught up on, 8 Billion Genies, issue number 6. This continues to be fun, definitely fun. This is the one where we're finding out that the Idea Man is a bad guy trying to conquer the other places. We see our bar team kind of spread out. What do you think before you dip out? I see you nodding.
Fantastic. Truly fantastic.
I picked this up because of y'all. Y'all kept talking about it. I'm like, it sounds fun. It is.
Yeah.
Really.
I look forward to seeing if there's another volume where they go, if it's going to be a different location, different group of people. But yeah,
we're 8 years. No, we're a lot of years in the future now.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. 16?
No, that was like at all.
Yeah, top 3 independents for the year for 8 Billion Genies.
It's fun. I don't read a lot of independents for time purposes, but that's typically a quick read. That one wasn't as quick. We see that forget the family's name that has a little baby with the genie. They're dealing with their daughter coming of age where she'll be a child with the ability to wish for anything she wants. We see the band trying to find their way to a safe haven and pulling the little trick of merging their genies, agreeing that their wish will only work if all of them agree on the wish together, because there's 3 of them but 2 genies, and you weren't getting in if you didn't have a genie to the safe haven. So they protected their clique, their group, by combining their wish power to one amongst them all. I thought that was really cool. Seeing the Idea Man and what's going on over there. We didn't see much of him, but we've heard a lot about him, how what we've expected this whole time, that he's a Lex Luthor, is definitely true. His whole family is, I forget what they call fictions in this, the wishes, if people wish for a person back, that person's not real. I mean, they're there, but there's a name for it. I forget what it's called, but
to me,
this family's artificial.
This quietly mirrors Stephen King's The Stand. Like they're all trying to get across to the safe place that they think is going to be there, but yet it's what's going to be there is not what they're hoping for.
Real quick. So if y'all watch my channel for a long time, Brent is like my best bud who was on here earlier with me. Chop right here said, "Happy birthday." Not sure whose birthday it is, but somewhere someone is having a birthday. So happy birthday!
Thanks, Chop. I appreciate that.
Fantastic.
Well done, Chop. Well done.
Dude,
perfect timing.
First time he's done that, and it was right on time, man. Big shout out to Chop and Drop.
What time is it?
It's 10:37. I checked.
I was born almost exactly 36 years ago.
That's perfect.
10:46.
Dude, Chop. Right. It's 10:46.
You're on it, bro.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. So who knows? He might be a little bit farther east than us. So it's 10:46.
Yeah.
He could be
Mississippi or something. That's the wrong.
Yeah, he's on the coast, dude. Paul Strickland said, "Hey, I know Brent. You know Paul Strickland?"
Yeah. Hey, how's it going, Paul?
Paul.
Hey, Paul. He said, "Hey, I know Brent." LOL. Yeah, well, there he is.
Yeah, I saw Shazam with him.
Did he buy you popcorn? Paul, you failed this city.
Yeah.
Well, Child was talking about me. Shout out to Brent. TJ, is it your birthday too?
Oh.
You're holding out on us. TJ got a Transformer trailer for his birthday. He got it early.
Nice.
Man, I saw TJ and TM just sounding off. They were excited. Tyler said, "Hey."
What's up, Tyler? How the hell are you?
All right, boys, I'm going to take off. Have a good night.
Make like a baby.
And, enjoy the giveaway, everybody. It's about to happen.
Yeah, it's coming soon. Coming soon. Got a couple more books, and then we're going to see who wins this massive Legion loot box.
Good night, guys.
Take care.
Tyler, I think of the breaking news that we did together often.
Yeah, move that little box. It's my birthday tomorrow, so not even close, Chop. Is it really your birthday tomorrow, Tyler? There's no telling that sack sort piece of shit we can for it. There we go. There's Brent. He's
What's
just
up,
been
guys?
sitting on the couch all the time.
Yeah. Hey Ryan, how you been, man?
Good.
Tyler says something, and everyone has to question it.
Is there red
I'll
on it?
never forget Brent sitting there shirtless. I won't either. He actually it's once a month of him shirtless. I don't understand why. He's got this little patch of hair right here. It's shaped like a heart.
Yeah.
But whatever.
It's like,
It
it's
works.
just the OnlyFans B-roll, basically.
Basically. I call it the D roll, but whatever. What else y'all got? I got 2 more books here. I'm really excited about both of them.
I got a lot of books.
Well, you take off on
There are
some.
more books.
It's some that you know that
Yeah.
we didn't read.
Let's talk about Superman.
I've read Superman.
Yeah.
This was dope. Superman, Kal-El Returns special. This is a one-shot kind of tying into the crossover story going on right now. It kind of reflects on Kal-El returning to Earth, which we saw in the pages of Superman, Son of Kal-El, primarily. And this kind of shows you what he did when he returned in other places. You know, he has more than just his family that he cares about and care about him. You know, you have Jimmy Olsen, you have the Justice League, and we kind of got those stories, which was cool. We had different writers and different artists tackling each of those.
Yes, it was. I liked it. I didn't like it as much as I wanted to like it, though.
I didn't like the Jimmy Olsen.
100.
You know, and I guess the reason I go back to, like, remember when Jeremy Adams was on our show and he said every story is supposed to mean something? I felt like if I had never read this, I wouldn't have really missed anything. You know, it doesn't really mean anything to the overall. I thought it was going to be an integral part to what's going on in Action Comics and Superman Kal-El. To me, this was just a way to kind of put 3 stories together and kind of get him in the spot where he needed to be for Justice League 75. That was the entire purpose of this issue. Having said that, I did like the stories, but I guess I was expecting something different, and that's why it was for me.
Yeah, I definitely thought it came out the gate strongest, but like I agree with everything you said. It just felt completely inconsequential and I don't want to say like unnecessary, but like not all that important, I guess. I thought the first story was the strongest. The last was pretty good. And the middle one could have just been burnt paper for all I care.
Mr. Nobody. I thought the Mr. Nobody one was fun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
The one with him and Bruce, that little dynamic. The Jimmy Olsen one I thought didn't hit because it missed on whatever its thing was.
Yeah,
Like,
whatever it was trying to say, I did not understand.
Yeah, you don't even have I don't even understand what Jimmy did. I don't even understand what his photo was. But I did like the fact that it referenced, kind of touched on Jimmy. I think if you're somebody, not myself, who read Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen when it was coming out, that might have been a little stronger. I think that's what they're going for, kind of the perspective of Jimmy and like the troubles he's kind of facing with the negativity of life right now, with the state of the world that he's living in. I loved the story with him and John kind of patrolling, and him again kind of calling back to letting John step out and be John, because he wasn't ready for the entire world to know he was back yet, but he was there watching, he was there listening. But just because he's wanting to spend his time with John, the artwork in that story was amazing.
Yeah.
You like manky art, it was super good. The Justice League story was just fun and playful, almost like an annual you would get in the last.
Oh yeah, I forgot that one was in there.
But what the like Naomi just kind of looking at, it was kind of showing you how much they look at each other as family, like how important it is just to have time with each other. Which again, none of these stories, the narratives weren't the point for me. It was more of like just the family aspect of these characters, how they're more than just co-workers and stuff. So I really loved it on that point. I think it served the job of a special or an annual very well. And dude, in terms of like the narrative or the play setting, it did a phenomenal job for me, because at the end it did a little thing. It said to be continued in Justice League 75, which is the death of the Justice League going into Dark Crisis. So what that just did for a universe that's kind of editorially all over the place, where you can kind of like draw a line through a story narrative, and it's not all on the same timeline in their universe. A story's taking place back here or over here. It set the Superman comics completely solid on a timeline. All of this Return of Kal-El, all of this War World, all of those events took place before Dark Crisis. Dark Crisis is ending next month when 1050 comes out, and now our entire Super family, multiple titles, Dark Crisis, all that is now in a seamless timeline. It's a great sign for DC readers to know that they're tightening up editorially from what we've been doing with that kind of loose, more freedom to the writers kind of thing that doesn't lend to a cohesive timeline with your monthlies. So I thought that was huge.
Yeah, I agree with that. I guess the one thing that you could have done that panel in any other story and done the exact same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. But they did it in this one.
Yeah. And like, I really like the artwork in that first story with Mr. Nobody, like the way that it seamlessly transitioned and stuff. Like, that was super cool. And I really liked the Superman John Kent story at the end until I read the Nightwing annual, and it basically did that story better. And then I was like, ooh, that kind of hurts this
I
one.
didn't read Nightwing. So
The Nightwing annual was good, and there was a story. There was a Dick Grayson.
Tell me about it.
Jonathan Kent story that is really good.
Tell me about it. I didn't read it. That came out this week.
Okay, so that one
Same
had
thing,
three stories, and the middle story was like just as throwaway as the Jimmy Olsen story, right? Like whatever they call it, Haley, right? The dog basically becomes like its own Nightwing thing. Like, it's really dumb, but it's like just like seeing the dog's perspective on the Nightwing character. It's not like a real thing. So
too many dogs. I don't
throw that out. Yeah. It was so
But
dumb. But the first story, we get the Heartless origin, and that was fire, dude.
What
like,
is it? I'm curious. Is he just a robot? Is there a person in there? What? Why'd you just two-gun me? What does that mean?
All right, so Heartless, right? He was this kid. He was this kid. Well, okay, better than that.
Jurassic Park.
So this dude basically meets an Alfred on the subway and is like, "Yo, I'm gonna kill you and take the job." So he becomes the butler for these people, right? This family, and so then they're like in their private helicopter, or whatever, and it crashes, and the parents die. But the young boy survives, but he needs like a heart transplant, and they're able to take like the dad's heart or something and give it to him. And so the butler raises him. So you kind of have like this Alfred Batman situation,
Sounds
the butler's original. Super. And then the butler is like raising him, right? And they don't just stop there. Like, once they realize they can transplant his heart, they start transplanting like other parts and stuff, and like grafting these like android pieces to him to make him better than what he is. The problem is his heart cannot like support all of these extra functionality and systems and stuff. And so that's why he steals hearts, in order to be able to stay alive and keep moving. And these two are both like nefarious characters, and they're like doing a lot of bad things intentionally. Like, this is their MO. Like, they are just bad people. Like, you're kind of getting a Joker character in this, and that like they're just okay with watching the world burn. And so the reason they took,
I say they think they might have solved his heart problem because they gave him Blockbuster's heart.
Yeah. So the reason they took Blockbuster's heart is because it's bigger and better.
Like he burns through the hearts like batteries that run out, kind of deal. He has to keep getting more.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but he took Blockbuster's heart because it's bigger and like more. Blockbuster was just like a bigger guy with a bigger, better heart because he had trained his whole life. And so they took his heart because it might solve the battery problem. Probably not, obviously. But I think like the cooler thing is the relationship between the butler and this guy, who is actually the kid that was in the first issue of Taylor's Nightwing issue, the bully or whatever.
Dragon Ball thing?
Yeah.
God damn you, Tyler.
But like their relationship, right? Like, he's like, even though you're not really my son, I do hope that like everything goes well or something. And he's like, nah, dude, like, you are my dad. Like, you basically built me from the ground up. And like, we have taken the king. Now we are going to take the kingdom. I'm like, yeah.
And literally the butler is like the anti-Alfred. He's like, you're not mean enough. You're not, you're not heartless
Yeah.
enough. Like throughout his entire life.
I thought you were gonna say he sucks at cleaning.
He
Anti-Alfred.
makes terrible sandwiches.
His schwa is always warm.
Rorschach would
Yeah.
not be happy with his
That's a
pancakes.
Batman Returns
It was
reference.
definitely a good read.
Yeah, it was a solid story.
Oh, it's cold. It's 52. It's
Okay,
cold.
and then the last story in that issue takes place after issue, what is it, issue 9 of Son of Kal-El. And basically, like,
they're good.
yeah. So basically, like, John Kent shows up in a alley where Nightwing is at, and it's all raining, and he looks all dour and stuff, you know.
After the death of the guy in front of him.
I don't think it's the same one that the guy died in. We'll get there. So, you know, and he looks all dour and stuff, and Nightwing's like, yo, like, what's the deal? He's like, hey, man, like, you said that, you know, if I ever needed you, then I could come and ask you for help and guidance and stuff. And he's like, yeah. And so they go back up to the roof of Grayson's apartment, you know, and he basically explains, like, a guy came at him, and whenever he, like, blocked or something, the guy broke his arm. And he's like, I don't want to go through that anymore. Like, I don't want to hurt people. You know, that's not who I am. And so he asked Nightwing to train him. And so the whole issue is Nightwing training him, like, basically in, like, jujitsu and stuff, like, use their momentum against them so that you don't harm them. And they do, like, a whole training thing. And then it's also, like, paralleling, you know, you see Dick having these flashbacks to his training with Batman, where Batman just is relentless, is like, keep going, keep going. Whereas in this version, like, Nightwing is not relentless, but John is like, no, keep going. Like, let's do it again. Let's do it again. And you kind of see, like, how crappy of a person that Batman was in training, but that Dick Grayson was a better person for it. And that, you know, it kind of exemplifies his character. And it also elevates John's character in that, you know, he's like, here, like, I could do anything. Like, I have all the power in the universe, but, like, I don't want to hurt people. So how do I do that?
Just kind of like hearing about that, and also having read, like, the dynamic of a lot of Nightwing John stuff through this past year. You know, I'm one of the few people that are a fan of aging John up.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people love the Super Sons, but I think a lot of people that love the Super Sons don't love it from, like, a picking it up and reading it every issue aspect. They love the look of it or this or that, because I think the dynamic between John and
100.
Dick Grayson is 1,000 times more valuable and so much more so than Damian and John, which I think that that's just a quirky dynamic. I even like the dynamic of Damian and John better now with John older, because I said it before, I feel like they're on a more even mental
mindset. Yeah.
Because, like, Damian is way older mentally than he is physically.
And I like the dynamic of John and Clark better as well.
God, yeah. With Philip Kennedy Johnson writing it, it just You got Joshua Williams about to be doing his own Superman series. Like, Superman, obviously, Superman Son of Kal-El was a placeholder miniseries. Like, God, there's outrage channels. They're canceled and it failed. No, it didn't. No, it didn't.
It did exactly what it was supposed to do.
Which is an iconic run that John's about to be headlining. And Clark's getting his book back. He's home. Like, it's that simple. And they're going to, but I can't wait. Joshua Williamson's writing that one. And I'm excited to see what he does with it. We're about to be
supposed to be in the kind of in the style and tone of the Superman the animated series.
Yeah. I thought
that's going to be fire too.
With the artwork on it.
But yeah, the Nightwing annual was really good. I definitely suggest, just for those two stories alone, it was really good stuff.
Madness. Yeah, look at that, man.
Yeah.
That's a wraparound cover. Just, it screams Dawn of DC stuff. That's just like straight hope. So if you thought Dawn of DC was a reboot, you are actually smoking paint chips. And if you want to know what it is and why that hopeful style artwork is actually perfect, check out the video that was posted last week on this channel. Hey, it's Alan. Hey, Alan. How are you? Hope you're doing good. 21 hours away from blue foil. Yeah. So for those that don't know, Alan Rue just picked up a massive massive blue chip grail by any and everyone's definition of what that is. So be sure to subscribe and turn that notification bell on, because he also has a great story of how he acquired it coming to you. It just happened today. I'm not even sure if he's home yet. He should be home by now from going to get it. But yeah, very exciting.
Nice.
He can actually, Alan can retire from buying comics after what he just picked up, because it was his personal, I hope I get this in my lifetime book. Very excited for him.
So I have two books. One of them I'm pretty sure we all read. The other one might be a little off the beaten path, but it's Damn Them All #2. This book was phenomenal. Like, I really enjoyed the first issue. I think if you bought into the first issue, you'll really like this one. Essentially, this one tells us the cop from that's from New Orleans. It explains why she's there and like what her connection was to Uncle Alfie. And then the other half of the story kind of explains why all of these events are important, and what they're actually trying to do, because they have a demon problem, and so they have to solve the case. So yeah, I thought Damn Them All #2 was really good. It opens like super intense. Like, if you are in America or you've ever seen a news channel or anything, like, it opens pretty intense. So it's really cool to see like why she ends up where she is in this book, and all the steps it took to get there.
And this was issue 2?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then the only thing I have left at this point is Detective Annual.
Yeah, Alan, Paul, do you have any other ones? I see multiple.
I did read the.
I want to hear about that. So I was on the fence with this Blue Beetle. Is it Graduation Day 6-issue miniseries?
Yeah.
So I was looking forward to a Jaime Reyes book. I was looking forward to anything Blue Beetle related. I like Blue Beetle. I like Jaime Reyes. And then I saw the artwork for it, and all my red flags for throwaway book flew. Like, I just have this eye for what I call a throwaway title, when this book adds nothing to the greater context of the DC universe, where it just plays inside of its own realm. And typically you get a lot of those writers that suck on those titles. I don't mean that. I mean, that's my preference. I'm not saying that they're incapable writers. But then the Bada Boom podcast, they do a lot of great interviews, and they're doing more and more. They have the writer on, and he literally hit the exact checklist of a writer that I would not follow. So I chose not to spend my money in that book or add it to my pool. And I'm going to still read it for the sake of the Bada Boom podcast, because I love those guys. And I'm curious, but I'm going to read it where I already pay for a DC Universe Ultra subscription. So it'll be there in just a couple short weeks for me. So I'm going to read it over there and see if I made the right call or not. I might even, if I didn't make the right call, go back and get the B cover, which was an homage to Blue Beetle #1 from the original series, but a different artist did it. But I'm very nervous about that one. What did you think of it, Paul?
It was okay. There's a couple of scenes in here. There's a scene with Superman in here that I really liked, but overall, I thought the story really wasn't all that compelling to me. It ends with what looks like a brand new, with a new character, but like a different color. Like, instead of Blue Beetle, it's like Yellow Beetle, probably. Is what her name is going to be. Which, I think that's something that we've seen, lots of times when people get new writers and they want to create a new villain. It's like, let me just get the same name. I'll just change one of the colors, and that'll be their villain. But the art wasn't as bad as you may be thinking. I didn't think it was as bad. Certainly not as bad as the Tim Drake Robin, for sure. But I'm on the fence about getting issue #2. I maybe last minute decide when I'm in the comic shop as to whether or not I want to buy it. So.
So that's not one that you felt strongly compelled to add to your pool list. Make the decision there.
Correct.
So,
and I didn't have it originally. I bought it because it was #1. I bought it in the comic shop when I was there.
I already promoted it, Flo. I don't know if you just popped in, but I already promoted it. And to Flo's point, I do want to point this out, because I gave them big props the day that they put out that podcast. Like, I appreciate them getting these people on, because they're doing a lot of work and a lot of great conversations, because they were actually having a conversation on a level where I could tell from this guy's answers that he is not the kind of writer I would follow. The things that are important to him that he chooses to focus on and do in stories has nothing to do with these characters. It has to do with him and his personality. And I hate that about a writer. I've said it before. If you're a writer, it's not your job to bring you to a character and teach this character what you believe. It's your job to come into these characters and learn from the characters and their history and see what you can add to it that way. Some writers have that reverse. It goes back to that Viggo Mortensen interview in the first Lord of the Rings when they asked him, how excited are you to play Aragorn, and what did Viggo bring to the character? And he said, nothing. That's not my job. My job is to come into this. I've read the books. I read the script. I've learned who Aragorn is, and I let him teach me something. And then I came and had the honor of carrying his torch to the next generation. That's what you do with comic characters, in my opinion. And that's how you don't get sloppy, lazy writers like the guy who's doing this book, calling it now. I called it going into it, but he did such a good interview with him that all of that became apparent, that he's like one of these fly by the seat writers that you just know you're going to be hit over the head by the end of it.
Like a Young Justice, Dark Crisis, Young Justice.
Yeah. And what's her name? Fitz something?
Megan Fitzmartin.
Yeah, you could put him on the shelf with Megan Fitzmartin. Who did that Wonder Woman one, Paul?
Was that Tony Howard? Maybe.
Yeah, that person. Teeny Howard.
Right, Teeny, right.
You could put this guy on the shelf with them, put your head in a bucket and hand him one of those little baseball bats you get at a little league baseball game, and just let him pound on it. That's what it's like reading your books. It just has to be said, oh, we pushed it. Yeah, here we go. Mark Russell is coming to the Bada Boom podcast. The writer of Superman Space Age is his most current, dude, one of the easily top 5 best DC books of the year. That Space Age #1 is up there with TK's Riddler one shot to be best single issue comic of the year from DC Comics. Yeah. Level right here. That's what I'm saying. Bada Boom podcast is bringing the heat. They already had Jeremy Adams on there. They had Dan Waters on there, another phenomenal writer. This last one was the first time they had a writer on there. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Give this man a different job. Give him a People magazine article to helm. Do something like that. That's where you go.
The whole reason I skipped it is because seeing the ad for it, I thought it was one of those YA graphic novels they're doing.
Exactly.
That cover was so awful for what it actually is. It wasn't until last week you were like, it's a 6-issue series. I was like, what?
It should have been an 80-page or 64-page special, because there's no way you have a graduation day. But that cover is like this.
Yeah. That cover looked like something that would appeal to my 14-year-old, not me.
Fueled by Nick's hate. Hell yeah. Yeah, Flo Dameron went 500 subscribers in 3 days? Yeah, that's impressive.
Nice.
Yeah.
We're all impressed. He's doing it off Nick's Kicks and Comics hate. Hater of the year. Hate. Excuse me. Yeah, why go put some water in Buck Nasty's mama's dish? Thank you, God, for giving me so much and Nick so little. Last one of the weekend, dude.
He's here.
Hey, there he is. So we got one more book, then we'll be getting ready to do the drawing for the winner. And dude, I absolutely love this one. This was a fun annual. It was one I was able to immerse in and live in for a while. It turned into the analogs that were using this were not direct. They were so subtle. I got to play with them and everything. But Detective Comics 2022 annual, this was fun. It's not going to be up everyone's cup of tea, but I felt like I was in the Crucible here. There's even a little shout out to the Crucible with instead of John Proctor, it was Joe Proctor or something. I know him. That's his name. Yes.
Right.
It was cool. We're in Gotham circa 1776, right after they've established their independence in this country, and it's called Gotham and everything. You had characters that were very unclear analogs to familiar people like Two-Face, Poison Ivy, but it was so subtle to the point that you didn't know it till they wanted you to know it. Even down to the leader of the town was an analog for Jim Gordon, and none of their names were direct plays. Like you would have to start to see how the character interacted or what their station was in the town to really kind of get a bearing on some of it. Like the Bruce Wayne character was a Wainwright. You kind of learned that his old family name was Wainwright and everything. And I still don't know who the guardian over him is supposed to be, if that's even an analog.
The one in the cart?
Yeah, no, that was the Phantom Stranger. That was the Phantom Stranger. And they don't. Would you read this, Paul?
I did.
Yeah, that had to be the Phantom Stranger. He had the top hat, or like and he even said, like, I go by many names, Mordecai, and I'm a stranger, and I'm like, dude, like, and it was so.
He said, I'm a stranger to many. I've gone by many different names. The most recent is Mordecai.
Like, I knew it. Yeah, dude. There were so many cool little things like that, and again, they were so undirect. Ron V did such a good job not being lazy with it. Like, how can I be ambiguous with this? How can we leave some of it for interpretation if need be? Like, it was just.
This is that interview that I posted where he said, just because it's fun doesn't mean it can't be intelligent.
Right.
Yeah. So
put some work into it. Don't call it big dumb fun. That's just that's a long phrase for lazy.
Where is it at? So it was literally the opposite writing of Josh Trujillo.
Trujillo.
What he said. Trujillo?
Trujillo.
I'll let you handle that.
I'm just
Yeah, I thought it was good too. One of the things that I really liked about it was I wanted to read it a second time to make sure I caught everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's one thing to have to read something a second time because you didn't understand what you read the first time, but I think I caught most of the stuff the first time, but I wanted to make sure I got every little thing that I could out of it, so I read it twice.
Yeah, and that's not the plot he's talking about. It's all the hidden Easter eggs and everything, like the penguin hiding there. And I thought it was cool how Ichabod Crane was you think he's like opposed to these people in the beginning, and he's working with the whole town in tandem with the Orgums. And the big thing about this is we see that the whole point of the story was to show that the Orgums bury a relic, a magic-based relic underneath Gotham. What they want to do, and what this relic will ensure, is that it was almost like their dial of destiny. I forget what it was called, but it was something along those lines where it will the environment that you create, it will keep that environment over years to come. And they wanted to build an environment where the elite of this town, the secret cabal of leaders across the town, set up the dynamic of it, where the scared flock to the church, where the fearful give up their freedoms to the ones with the guns to take control for them, where they're setting the dynamic of the town, and they bury this relic, and it will perpetuate that dynamic of social behavior for as long as it's there. But there was a hiccup in it. This protector,
there was one wrinkle they didn't count on.
But what was so cool is you have this character who's like an analog for Ivy there, an analog for Penguin, Gordon, for a lot of characters. And what they didn't count on, like you said, is when this little Wayne, and it also guaranteed that Bruce's parents would die, because this Wainwright child's parents get mauled by Gale in the beginning. Like, they were killed by Gale, who we see from the Orgums, who's there now, who's like the shapeshifter. And so now it guarantees that this kid's family's going to die, kind of thing. And this protector came in and got the kid out of town because he knows how life goes for a child with no parents in a town this volatile that feels like it's about to explode. And he gets him out of town, but then he realizes no matter what, there's going to be ramifications. I have to go back and fix this town. So the night that they buried that thing, he comes back as a Dark Knight protector out for justice, guaranteeing that Gotham will have a protector. So what we get in the beginning of it, before the flashback, is Gale and another one of the Orgum's trusted advisors going and digging up the relic that's under modern day Arkham's ruins, because they have to reset it, because the dynamic of that structure will never work for them to succeed with this dark protector there. So they're getting it out. They're about to restructure Gotham. We know they're coming in to take take back their rightful place as the founders and the true rulers of this city, almost like a family of Court of Owl kind of dynamic, and replant this relic. So it's some, like you said, Flash, it is some really heavy stuff. Ron V is not writing a lazy story. I think it was Paul and Ryan both that pointed out this is kind of just getting started. This is still all foundational stuff to this detective run. This is not throwaway titles. They're not one-offs. This is like hardback collection.
Well, this is up here with like Philip Kennedy Johnson's Warworld Saga. Like, this is a story to be told, and they've given him the reins to do it, and he's doing it. And this was really cool because, like, it's pretty non-essential. If you're reading detective and you don't read annuals, there's no reason you have to read this to keep up with this issue, you know. But at the same time, like, it adds so much to the history and everything that's operating at that foundational level of
we get the motives now. We don't get their motives, we get their plan. We get them MacGuffin, you know.
Yeah, but all in all, like, they can basically because they got what they needed, right? So
they're gonna call back to it in the next issue.
Yeah, like in the next issue, they can sum up this whole story in one line, but you don't get the richness of that tapestry if you didn't read this, you know. I think that's like the beauty of it is he took a book that most people or a lot of people will probably skip and made it something worthwhile to read if you want to and non-essential if you don't.
Yeah, it was dope. It was super dope. It was worthwhile for me. I found myself, like Paul said, how he read it twice. I found myself intentionally just reading slow and trying to find like the voices of each character as you're reading it. You know, when you really have the time and you're just in the headspace to just dive into a book, I found myself pausing at the commas and like it wasn't speed reading through nothing. I'm looking at the details of every panel, especially after it started with that Cobblepot Easter egg, who wasn't even a Cobblepot. I'm like, wait a minute, could that be a Penguin character? And I wasn't even sure. I had no way of knowing until I saw him again later. And so I'm like, dude, I see what you're doing. I see it.
Yeah, like a round guy at the table and
with the monocle,
Bobblecod or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But
something. It was Pebble Smith.
Yeah, but like they talk down to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like he seems like one of the wealthy elites, but even they're like, yeah, you're kind of a nobody, you know. Like we're gonna boss you around.
It was cool how there's just this woman that practices medicine on her own, so she's considered a witch who has a cabin just outside of town. And when you see her, she's just a blonde hair, fair skinned lady who's not scared of no one. And next time you see her, you see inside of her house where she has a lot of plants and it looks nice, but nothing unusual or suspect. And then by the end of it, you see her. She's like, I was trying to raise up the plants to protect me with the spell. And he's like, you were trying to do what?
Well, she's got to protect the village with the forest.
Yeah, protect the village with the forest. Like, huh? Can you do that again? You sound crazy, but can you do it again? I'm about to go in there. I need some backup here. And like, dude, they evolved her into Poison Ivy as she was doing her.
Well, and her dialogue, like, you know, she's so snappy. I don't even remember what she said whenever the guy shows up outside of her door, like the main bad guy, you know, and he like comes and he says something, and she's like, basically, you want to fuck around and find out, like in old English terms, you know, just like
hands.
Yeah,
she did the Henry Cavill and cocked her arms,
right.
I think it's really telling that currently, at least for me anyway, the quality of DC is in two of its oldest magazines, Action Comics and Detective Comics, and one that is highlighting their oldest
World's
team,
Finest,
Justice Society of America.
Oh yeah, World's Finest as well, which is another golden ager.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're really leaning into dude, there's no way that's by coincidence. Ain't no way that's by coincidence. They were talking about wanting to get back to forefronting Superman, and it looks like they're really leaning into what made them great to begin with, what's carried them this far. You know, why did you try to reinvent the wheel?
Right.
Like, and it doesn't hurt to reinvent it every now and then, but if you go off course, you need to get back on it. That's a great way to do it. Tried, tested, and true. Fucketh around and findeth out.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Yeah.
You forgot to put the quotes on there, TJ. Yeah, that was it. All right, y'all ready to do this Legion loot giveaway and get ready to head out of here for the night?
As ready as I'll ever be.
All right, for those that don't know, we got 29 people watching. Hopefully all of y'all are in the Legion, and what that is the channel membership. If you look down next to your subscribe button, there's a little blue button that says join. If you don't see it, you would have to change up what you're watching on. Sometimes it doesn't show up on the app. You might need to update. Sometimes you have to go in through your browser or on your laptop to see it. But what is it? It's the channel membership, where you do the monthly membership and you get the loyalty badges next to your name, which you see next to a lot of the people's name in the chat. It also gets you access to the custom emojis that I've built and set up for the channel with the help of my good friend Tyler from Whack Comics. He definitely helped me get these put together. And that's why when you see those emojis used and you don't see them on your end, it's because it unlocks them with channel membership. And it also, if you are in the Legion tier, there are 2 tiers, the supporter tier and the Legion tier. It gets you an entry into the monthly giveaway box that Big Time Collectibles sponsors. They send books out to me, and I spread them out and put them into these, as well as I add books to it. And this month, it is one of the most massive ones I've done. You know, we've given away the Heroes Initiative George Perez in the monthly Legion Loot, which that was actually a $450 giveaway when it was all said and done. We've given away an Ultimate Fallout 4 in the CGC 9 point something that I did in a crossover event with DJ Links and his channel membership. So we do a lot of fun stuff. We try to make them big and awesome. It's strictly based on the amount of members there are. The more there are, the bigger they get, because I literally use the money from that in part to help fund it, because you don't make a lot from YouTube, but I try to give it back as best I can. Nelson, I want my pink foil. Yeah, well, you need to go get one then. You need to buy one of those Miko boxes, which there's a pink foil. It's one of the GPs, or you can do like I did and use my my member loyalty points, which that's what Paul did too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you could buy loyalty points, those things are badass. Alan Rue just got his in as well. 9.6, there it is. It was such a big deal, DJ, that it blew my mind that we did that. I couldn't remember, but we gave away an Ultimate Fallout 4 first print in the CGC 9.6. But let's go through some of this. I'm going to start off by showing Legal Burning. Randy, great guy. He's donated stuff for the Legion Loot giveaway. We've got this black cat right there. For those that don't know, she's actually thinking about the comic vet in this image. We established that weeks ago. We've got this Moon Knight on here. And if y'all aren't watching Nick's Kicks Community Garage Sales, y'all should be. Stuff gets sold on there for amazing prices. I sold Moon Knight 1 through 6 today for giveaway price. Let's see. So we got some Fascia Melees. We have Action Comics #1 Fascia Melee going in here. That's from this year. Now let's switch it up real quick. I want to do these big time books. Twig #1 donated from Big Time Collectibles. That's the David Mack exclusive. Gorgeous. I love David Mack cover. Chip Gettler got me onto him really. And me and Brent here tracked down those Superman covers. Yeah. That's the Miko Suion Moon Knight Black, White, and Blood. That's actually how you say it. Like,
really?
When you hear like how Ryan pronounced that dude's name, like with the proper Suion. But yeah. That's actually a con exclusive. These are gorgeous. The Spider-Man 2099 Exodus #3 by Scan. And Brent will tell you that's an homage to Web of Spider-Man #1, which at the time was the final appearance of the black suit until they brought it back.
Got off of Peter's body and everything, the Bell issue.
Yeah, you got to get that stuff off your Peter.
Yeah.
And then we have the Virgin variant. You all right there?
For some reason, the first thing that Peter Tingle came to my head.
Definitely, as Peter was.
That is a lovely shade of red, by the way.
Oh man!
All right,
that was good.
All right, those are the ones that were donated by Legal Burning as well as Big Time Collectibles, and then I really juiced up this box with that Action Comics #1 Fascia Melee from this year. We have the Superman #1 Fascia Melee from this year. And then, like, we lost George Perez this year, but we got this Action Comic 643, which is George Perez homaging Superman #1, which is just gorgeous. And the reason behind me doing the Superman theme box this year was because it's the 30th anniversary this month of the death of Superman, which is like the highest selling series ever. Mm-hmm. We got a trade paperback collecting all 7 issues of that iconic, epic, just ginormous, amazing story. And if you've never read it, do yourself a favor if you win this and read it. And if you haven't, just go read it anyways. You don't have to be a Superman fan to read that and just get a great comic experience from it. Then I put in Superman 166, The Real Truth of Krypton, because it's chromed out of its mind, and it's Ed McGuinness art, who for me is an iconic artist for Superman from his Superman Batman run. We have, this is my copy of it. Well, it could be yours. World's Finest #1 convention exclusive Miko Suayan, foiled out of its mind. And, you know, that's an homage to the famous Jim Lee Superman cover from 204. It's right here, going in there too. This is going to be big. We have John Jang's first published Superman cover with Son of Kal-El 17.
Amazing.
Oh, excuse me.
Bless you.
Yeah.
The Return of Superman, Adventures of Superman 500 in this bag that contains the first appearance of John Henry Iron Steel as well as Connor Kent Superboy. And donated by DJ Link's good friend, we've got Superman issue 75 special edition that has all the bonus content in it from all the creators of that massive event at the time. Foiled out of its mind. That's a Big Time Collectibles exclusive. And then the reason for the season with the 30th anniversary special, Death of Superman special, 80 pages, no ads, all new content, 4 amazing stories by all the original creators of the event. This is the Jim Lee cover homaging ASM 316. You got Superman down there is getting wrecked by Doomsday. And you can't do a Death of Superman event without having the first appearance of Doomsday in a first print, Man of Steel, issue number 18. And then if that isn't enough, there's more. There it is. Superman 75, The Death of Superman Black Polybag Special Edition NACGC 9.8. Here lies Earth's Greatest Hero. I have the new one, the Multiverse's Greatest Hero from that new one, but here lies Earth's Greatest Hero in that Tombstone edition. So all of that is about to go to one channel member massive giveaway.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot.
It's a newsstand Doomsday as well.
It is. Oh yeah, I didn't point that out. Yeah, I have multiple copies of this book, and I put the Newsy in there. So I kept I have
barcodes, man.
Yeah. People like barcodes.
Yeah.
Big fans of barcodes these days. TM claimed, "I'm overdue. Please, please, please let me win." That's not up to you or up to me. But wait, there's more. Yeah. So that's actually it. That's it. I think that's enough. I have not FMV'd it. I'm probably going to do it just because I'm curious by the end of it or before I send it. So also, that's not what I'm trying to do. I was about to share the screen, share screen. Wheel of names. There it is. So there's all the people eligible, all the people in the Legion tier are on the wheel. So yeah, I'm gonna shuffle this thing. Paul, just tell me when to stop.
Stop.
There we go. So that's the order it's gonna sit on. Mark shows 30 more items. So I appreciate everyone that's in there. Appreciate all the people that come and hang out with us all the time on all the shows and everything. It's a fantastic community. I never expected it to get there. Yeah, there's the facsimiles in there. Yeah, that's definitely in there. I would not do a Superman giveaway without an Action Comics #1. There's not a first print. I had to keep that one for myself. I wish. So here we go. Y'all ready to spin this thing? If y'all are ready to spin this thing, I need Superman emojis in the chat. If you're a channel member, you better start throwing Superman emojis in the chat. That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I made a Superman emoji for this channel long before this giveaway.
Everybody's scrambling on their phones.
I hope so.
How do you do that?
I don't know. People figured it out though. There's some. I see some in there. If you look on where you go to type, it's actually like where you go to actually tap to type. It's on the far right or far left where the custom emojis are.
Oh, okay.
Wait, Small Town Collectibles is here. What is up, Jimmy? Dude, so we got some of the biggest Superman fans that are channel members. We got House of L in here. We got Small Town Collectibles. We got TM's a big DC guy in here. There's a lot of DC people in here. So there's a Papa Wheelies in here. There's an awesome chance this is going to a perfect home. There's numerous people Yeah, so let's spin this thing. Let's do this. I'm excited. Let's see. And the winner of the November Legion Loot giveaway.
Nice.
Dude, you know what's crazy is Coco's been on a one-man mission trying to get this is like I don't know who, everyone's got their different higher power, but when you hear this is the God thing, that's a God thing right there, because he's been on a one-man mission trying to pick up very specific Superman related books for a while. I was even out hunting for some when me and Brent were looking, and some of those books are included in here. So that's absolutely amazing. I was actually out looking for a Superman Polybag edition, and there wasn't one at any of the shops. And then he just won a CGC 9.8 of one. That's absolutely crazy, dude. Massive congratulations, Coco.
Congrats.
That's wow. That's so perfect. That's crazy. Dude, huge congrats. And don't worry if you didn't win. We'll do it again next month. I'm still trying to decide what I'm throwing in with it. I've got more BTC books that are on the way. Nelson sends like a giant box, like a $500 box of books at a time. So if it gets here before I have to start showing it off, I'll try to integrate some of the new ones in with what I have left. And I've got still have a 9.8 Something's Killing Children custom Austin LeMay book to put in one. Got like a signed and remarked Something's Killing Children Miko Suai book that I'm probably going to end up putting in one. Yeah, got some big stuff to go in some of them. But yeah, cool. Whatever you put in it.
It's ambiguous.
Oh, I know what Alan means. Alan's a sexual deviant. All right. Well, I appreciate everyone coming out. It is 11:30. Are y'all ready to ride?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Ryan, what are you putting out this week?
That remains to be seen.
Dude, there's no way you don't have plans. You're a planner.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm still working on JSA, plugging away at that.
Yeah, I've been loving those.
Trying to put more like video content together around that. So that's kind of like most of what I'm working on, but who knows what we'll be seeing.
The best thing about you putting those JSA ones out is your pure enthusiasm for the stories that are being told. Like when you're going through that Return of Hawkman storyline, like you put out the content based on the kicker of the back end of the issue, and then you kind of backpedal from there. I don't know if you not backpedal, but you kind of go back from there. You're like, they've made it. Let's go. Let's see Hawkman. They've come this far. They've done this or that. Now we're there. You know what I mean? You take the kicker of the
yeah. Well, what I'm trying to create, just like behind the curtain where the sausage is made or whatever they say. My whole intent is like I want people to feel like they're going on the journey with me. So like as I'm discovering this stuff, I want you to be discovering it too. So I will say this week, because I don't remember where I'm at as far as posting, but this week there is a phenomenal storyline with Jakeem Thunder that was brought up earlier. That does some really cool things. I'm assuming it's not permanent because it doesn't seem like the status quo currently for that character, but it should be because it is absolutely phenomenal what they do with Johnny Thunder and JJ and the the Thunderbolt, the genie, and all that. Like it's really cool what they do. They give JJ his comeuppance. They make him into a hero without the powers, and then he gets the powers and stuff. So it's really cool. So definitely keep an eye out for posts on that storyline because it is quite phenomenal. Very reminiscent of the original Matrix, which would have come out just before that.
Think it was the clear influence there.
Definitely felt like it. Not all the way through the storyline, but the general setup, yeah, it felt a little Matrixy in a certain way.
Paul, what do you got going on? I know one thing going on a week from Wednesday.
Yep. So, well, this Wednesday we have Dark Crisis Warzone coming out, so we should be getting together and doing our deep dive on that as well. And then at the end, so we only have like 3 more issues of Dark Crisis related material. But on the last episode of Dark Crisis Deep Dive, we're going to have a huge, and I mean a huge giveaway. We're going to be giving away the entire Dark Crisis saga. And I mean the entire, like every Dark Crisis um, issue that's come out, some of the variants that have come out, every tie-in series, everything, as well as the Crisis on Infinite Earths.
And this poster.
Is it going to be as
and
big
that
as
poster.
tonight's giveaway?
And no, this is for me and Paul's giveaway for our DC Deep Dive series. We're going to be wrapping up on the first story arc of our DC Deep Dive series that me and Paul decided to do. This because we love fanboying out about this stuff, and you can never really talk about or dissect these stories enough. So on his channel, Sector 2815, as they're coming out, we've been doing a deep dive on Dark Crisis. That's what really intrigued us to do it. So we've been building a giveaway focused around that story. So at the end of it, like this Dark Crisis poster, which is actually a light box poster, so it can go in a frame, or if you have a backlighting for it, you can illuminate it. And we're going to give that away. And then we're going to keep the series going. It's going to go from DC Dark Crisis or DC Deep Dive Dark Crisis to DC Deep Dive Dawn of the DCU. And we're going to be focusing on some of that stuff. And who knows what it'll hit, but we're going to continue to do it because it's just fun as hell. And there's not a lot of people putting out regular content focused on following storylines like that, and there's tons of crappy outrage channels out there telling people a bunch of lies. So it's fun to have an alternate source to get some of that stuff.
Basically, by the time we're done, by the time the entire series is done, there will be 50 issues at least that we'll be giving away. So it's going to be huge. And then a week from Wednesday, Mark just mentioned it, on my channel at 9:30 on Wednesday the 14th, it is Guess That Key Christmas episode. We're going to have a huge amount of giveaways. There'll be lots of foil.
Paul's bringing that book on his shirt.
Okay, Mark may not know what I'm doing.
The first appearance of Santa in DC Comics, I'm sure.
Exactly. But again, there'll be huge giveaways going on then as well. So come on out, join us, have some fun, see if you can guess the keys that we bring as well. It's just a lot of fun that we have every other Wednesday night. So
dude, it really is. It's a blast, and like audience gets to participate. It really is one of the funner shows. And somehow, some way, something said on every episode carries through YouTube for weeks to come. I don't know how it happens, but came from Guess That Key this past week.
Right.
Kevin, is the artist dead?
Tyler, is there red on the cover?
Yeah, is there red on the cover? Yeah. It just so Jake and Jesus will be there with us for that one, so it'll be a blast. Yeah. So tomorrow I've got a really fun video. I went comic hunting galore this weekend. I was off from work. Brent was here. We had a special garage sale, comic book sale that a local vendor set up at his house in his garage. He was off for the weekend, had a bunch of stuff to price. So he just has his stuff set up in his garage and let people come in and shop his stuff like he was set up at a con while he sits out there and just prices stuff and works. So found some cool stuff there. We hit all of our shops. Went through a collection that Paul Rogers at the Augusta Book Exchange recently purchased, found a lot of good stuff. And I got a massive Silver Age key in, checked off my list. If you're a channel member, that video is available for you to watch already. You can go to the community tab on my channel and see it. I would say it's, I shared it out on IG, but I don't have an IG right now still. So if you need me, message me at Pops Addict. If you don't need me, don't message me at Pops Addict because that page is kind of used for other stuff. It's for buying comics and for Pops to operate. But if you need me, I'll be there. Otherwise, it looks like I'm just kind of taking a soft social media break, which actually felt pretty good today. I got a lot done. Swept the backyard with a broom.
You did.
I literally did. But I appreciate everyone coming out, hanging out. Be on the lookout for that video tomorrow. And until next time, as always, I'm Mark, but we are Legion.
And you're welcome to come use one of the 8 easels we have set up for creating art here at the show for consideration for our art auctions on Saturday for our major auction at 8 p.m. at the Weston Ballroom. And the smaller auctions we'll have here on the convention floor on Sunday starting at noon.
That's a flash from the past.
So any artist that we have here, either as an exhibit